Final Fantasy XIV チルミックスドバイ
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Crystalline Conflict Roulette 17, late as hell, due to, you guessed it, some technical issues on my part. But we made it. That's what's important. And with me tonight, returning to the desk, are Serothel and Smoosh. Serothel, say hi to everybody.
Hey everybody, this is Serothel from Crystalline Conflict. Nobody,
Yeah.
nobody here is gonna get that joke but me. That's all right.
We love it anyway. It's good. It's good. How are you doing today, Serothel?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad to be back. Can't believe we were an entire week late because of technical issues and nothing else that was happening last week.
Nothing else was happening last week. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, no, it's the one after FanFest.
Of
Yay!
course, yay! Welcome back, everybody from FanFest. Oh my god, it was a pretty exciting week, though, right?
Yeah, we got to
CCRC.
see the CCRC. A lot of really great matches. Congratulations to Wolfus for winning that tournament, and everybody who came out and played hard at LAN and had a really put on a really great show.
Oh yeah, congratulations to Wolfus. And then Smooshified. How are we today? How you doing, baby? What's up? What's new? How you feeling?
Hey John, thanks for having me for a second time in a row. Oh my goodness, some people would think you may have a little bit of a crush or something going on. How's it going?
You
How's
know
it
I
going?
love you, stud muffin.
You too, you too. You're the best, John. Thanks for having me here again.
All right. So, did you watch any of CCRC? What'd you think? What'd you think of that?
CCRC was overall really fun to watch. I can't even begin to imagine the amount of work that it takes to get this going. So really, hats off to you, and to like just this community as a whole. I love being here for this. I was actually doing a little bit of Final Fantasy PvP myself earlier on the channel. I miss this game, John. Yeah, it's a great game. I'm really happy to be here right now.
Good, good, good. Oh, and perfect. We just got Serathel's actual reactive. Thank you, Socks. You're the best. Let's get this
Woo!
switched over. Okay, let's see here. I don't know, because I was doing this. Get the password from Shizuka. They've already got our first set for the night.
I think I actually need to join in. You'd think
Yeah.
I'd get better at this eventually. You would think. However, you know me. What a week. What a week. How's it been going for you outside of this, John? Everything all right? Everything okay?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Oh, Shizuko is the one I join in on, right?
That's correct. Shizuko is our registration specialist today.
Thank you for your hard work.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Shizuko. Oh my
What did you
goodness.
think of the FanFest matches over here, Sarah?
I thought there was some really great games. My favorite set, I think, was actually Bog Yarzin versus Verkittens.
Oh, that was so good.
Yes, it
They
was a
had,
beautiful series.
I think it was round 3 on Playstra. One of the most just unbelievable overtime pushes I've ever seen. It's like, no way, it's over. It's over. And then someone jumps on point. I'm like, okay, they're about to die. And then they stall, and I'm like, okay, it's over. And then someone else makes it on point. My hands were shaking, and I wasn't even playing.
It was pretty stressful to watch, yeah. That was hardcore.
You gotta admit, there's something beautiful when matches actually get that close, neck and neck and everything. There's just something about it that, like, everybody can tangibly feel the pressure is on. That's something you can only get from, like, a live stage event like that. That's something that I feel like is really missing when it comes to solo queue mentalities and everything. Coordinated play is like apples and oranges, and you can really get that sense when you're watching those.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And that's why we're here, to give people a little taste of what that coordinated team play is like, right, John?
That is right. That's exactly why we're here, and exactly what we're trying to get people to get a taste of. There's really no better spot to get your feet wet with LP right here than Crystalline Conflict Roulette. You're going to get put into a randomized team, given a voice channel to use. There's no stakes. Prizes are awarded via drawing. So win or lose, you've got a chance to win something. Today it's 1,000,000 gil. And then after that, we're happy to shuffle you off to other groups that do some more focused events. CC Madness and Argo do regular scrims. PNC, PV Primal both have tournaments coming up. I know that there's one that I'm forgetting, but yeah, lots of opportunity to take the skills that you learn here and go apply them to actual tournaments and stuff. And one thing that people you'll realize is that even like Bog Yarzan did have a lot of veteran team members on it, but Wolfus and Gnosis, teams that made it to semifinals and finals, were both relatively new teams. Some of them were relatively new. Some of the members were relatively new to Crystalline Conflict too. So
they were new to each other. Yeah, that's right.
You don't have to be a feast boomer to do well.
I like that terminology you're throwing at us. The matter of the fact is, I feel like there are too many people who take themselves up like, oh, it's too restrictive. I don't have the experience, or I've never really tried to make it to such a caliber like coordinated play. I actually was very intimately close to a lot of the players who were on Wolfus. Like, they were people who I would run to on a daily basis. It's very normal just to have that motivation to play these games every day and to have it grow into something more. If you're passionate about playing these games, you don't need to worry about whether or not you have a resume on your back or the criteria met. If you're passionate about it, you can do anything.
Absolutely, absolutely. I gotta reopen recruitment here. We are missing Umbra, team member Auburn.
So the other part about it, I guess I'd say, is the developers took a massive interest at the tail end of that tournament about strategies that were used during that time. But I felt like a lot of the strategies employed, especially when they were saying, oh, you picked a target and you all dump your damage on them. Like, this is pure normal solo queue mentality as well. There is kind of the semblance that you get off of watching those games that it's just the go-to method. In this game, because of tick rate, because of the way things tend to work outside of like gameplay, I'd say server issues, right? There's a lot of things you can take advantage of because you have that split-second decision to make with your teammates and you're yelling into the mic and the servers have to catch up. A lot of the time I saw like people exploding from like 80% to 10% HP, and it's simply because of that. It's like there's very little leeway. One of the cool things that you can get used to during these games, like these random encounters, is trying different classes and seeing your potential. It's actually really good for you to branch out and to try these different classes because they all kind of work off of each other. If you know what a scholar does, the next time you're on Paladin, you know what to look out for.
Yeah, even if you don't find that a job sticks with you, it helps to have that institutional knowledge of how a job works. And you might find, hey, I started out on give you an example that I actually played. I started out on Warrior, and then around Gold Season 1, climbing into Plat, I was like, man, these bards are driving me crazy. I'm going to play some Bard and figure out how it works. And here I am playing Bard in Season 7.
I feel like there's always a training arc whenever picking up a new class. First day, you're like, oh, what am I doing? You're throwing yourself out the wolves, you're dying on cooldown. People are spamming push the crystal. It's really stressful, but I guarantee you, like, there is a lot that you can pull out of those experiences. You understand what their tools are that you can work around. What are their escape options? How do they survive? What are they looking to do? And then all of a sudden, you have an advantage there because maybe they haven't taken the effort to do that. There's a lot going on behind the scenes with each class that there are certain requirements that need to be met. Like a warrior gets most of their damage if they're in their ult, but it doesn't mean that's the only thing they're looking for. They're disruptive, they do a lot. It's like these small nuances that you can't get just by sticking with whatever your favorite class is. It's always a great idea to try out and experiment, and casuals or these random roulettes are a fantastic way to do it.
Absolutely. I've tried new jobs in CCR and in casuals, and sometimes I find something's not for me. Sometimes I have a lot of fun with it, but you know, the best players will find a way to turn everything into a learning experience.
What are you excited to see today, Sarah? In terms of matches, in terms of maps, what do you think is the kind of, I guess you could call it, experience to look forward to?
I'm looking for some strong team play as far as coordinating bursts, taking advantage of limit breaks that synergize. And I'm also looking for some funny map shenanigans. We talked about this before we went live, but I love Cloud9 because it is like scientists are going to study it in a lab to figure out how a team can win for 2 minutes, and then turbulence happens, and now they're losing.
You
I
know
love
it. That's why we gotta call it C9 lol. C9 lol. C9 Q down. Have you heard that one though, Sarah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
C9 Q down. I love to hear it.
All right, so we've got our first set ready. Had to make a quick fill. The wheel has selected Palestra. So
I'm astounded.
let me
I'm astounded.
Did you
give
not
everybody a
want to,
ready
like,
check.
make a system with like colored orbs that represent each map and draw them out of some sort of box?
Nah, I think we've wasted enough time.
True enough. True enough.
That's such an awkward way of selection, but that's what they like to do because they did it for the Community Cup too, right? Except they did it with the little plushie heads.
They did. That's right. They did. They did.
Heads.
I'm still calling shenanigans on that. I don't believe that could possibly be the best solution. No way. So we actually only saw one match of Palestra the last time I was here, right? And during that day, or that night rather, it was during a gimmick game, right? So I'm really looking forward to this being the first map to cast tonight. Finally, breath of fresh air, Palestra. Here it is.
Yeah, really looking forward to this. We're getting a look at the teams. We've got some fairly balanced comps. Team Astra going for the Paladin 4 DPS comp. So they are going to have some explosive damage, but also potentially be able to make some big saves using that Paladin's Guardian ability that just redirects damage to the Paladin for 10 seconds.
That's right. Astra over here definitely has a comp that they want to slow play a little bit into. What's happening over here is the Reaper gets their LB off every minute or a little bit sooner depending on whether they get that Death's Harvest off. And on top of it, the Black Mage also has a shorter LB cooldown. It really goes to showcase that you don't need to just focus on the idea that like openers are the only issue that you're looking at. You can definitely play a little bit slower, build up to those early LBs and make a massive impact right off the bat.
Right off the bat, Lane Arcane, the Paladin on Astra, is in a lot of trouble. Running Guard and Purify, running low on resources, but it looks like he might be able to make an escape.
I don't see how Leonhard gets out of the situation, to be honest. Rouge is also getting a little bit low. They are getting focused out a bit. Neither team really yielding. Haku's trying their best to play into it.
Lots
It
of
could
bars
go
getting
either
low
way.
here, but no one's stopped just yet. Tiny Sausage in trouble and is gonna go down.
I think that
Hakuzashi
might have
playing
been
for Astra.
I feel like that might have been a slight overextension on Tiny Sausage, but they might be able to get a little bit of blood back from Haku any second now. And the fantastic cover from the Paladin, as we called it earlier, still keeping them alive.
On and over extended Dark Knight here. Now, Umbra is in the percentage lead, even though they've had 2 deaths to no kills. But it looks like Astra's going to start pushing that in the other direction, and is going to get a kill on Bicycle Salesman here. Because no MP, no guard, no Purify,
Out
and
of
there's the kill.
resources. That's it. That's classic textbook play. Get them low, leave them with no other options but to guard in it, and guess what? There is no resistance after that. Tiny Sausage.
Ben's gonna pick a kill, trading for the other Black Mage, taking on Haku. Meanwhile, on point, it looks like we've got a very neutral game on point. People are fishing out kills, but we've got Dancer Limit Break coming out, which is going to catch 2 people. Ruja is going to go down from this.
Massive disruption from Tapeworm. Doesn't really get too much to convert off of it, though.
Revna is looking low on resources, getting CC'd on the Crystal, and is going to go down as well.
We've got a
That's an ugly
3v5 at
stagger
this
from
point.
Umbra.
It is up to Astra to either chase down these kills to make sure that they keep him staggered, or Umbra tries and recuperate, tries and gather up again to make a concerted push at the 50%. Because of the lack of pushing and because of the great stall from Umbra, thankfully they've been able to keep Astra away for this long from the 50%.
Is starting to come apart. Ruja being forced into the back line. Are they going to be able to...
Amazing
Tiny
pop on this
Sausage
kill.
pulling a kill with the Samurai Limit Break for that instant kill. However, they're going to go down, and Revna is going to hold the line for Team Umbra with that Dark Knight Limit Break, and it looks like they're going to start to turn it on Astra here. Getting 3 kills now, looking for a 4th.
That's a wonderful conversion for Umbra, managing to stave them off the 50%. They didn't even let them hit 50%, technically, on the crackback over here. If Umbra manages to hit that 50, they're going to be in the lead. It's looking like a fantastic time. Finch is going to be able to free cast a lot of this, making sure to keep the pressure on, making sure to keep them in their base as much as possible. And you can see, Umbra did manage to get that 50%.
Yeah, while we weren't looking, or at least I wasn't, Umbra was fighting deep in Astra's backline. Meanwhile, Revna was being the wise man, pushing that crystal onto 50 and putting Umbra in a strong percent lead.
And we can really attribute this to the fact that Astra, despite getting somewhere near the 40s, did not decide to chase down the rest of those Umbra kills. Umbra here knows how to keep the pressure on. They're definitely looking and hunting out the rest of the Astra members. But now it seems like we're managing to balance it out. Even though Umbra's on point, not all of their teammates are on site.
Some fantastic healing from Bicycle Salesman there. Tiny Sosig getting focused hard by Team Astra, but was able to get out through that Astrologian healing, and is now back in the fight.
Rucha's getting really low over here, but being a survivalist definitely knows their ninja tools on how to deal with the pressure. They do manage to go down, though. That was a really nice secure from Tapeworm. That's what you can expect to see from a Reaper, making sure there are some kill secures, really good chase down potential, and some picking.
And Umbra has broken through the checkpoint at 50%. That's going to put them in a massive percent lead advantage here.
Honestly, I'm really surprised from the way we were seeing the start of this match. Astra had such a nice lead to start with, but you can see you need to take every effort to make sure you capitalize on that lead, or at the very least, make sure you know what you're dealing with when the crackback comes.
Meanwhile, Astrologian Limit Break coming out on Astra, as well as the Dancer from, Dancer from Astra.
Nice Tapeworm, wonderful, being able to really disrupt the team. On top of that, get a cherry pick for themselves.
It looks like Ruja did get 1 kill with that Ninja Limit Break, but wasn't able to chain it to another execute. They are going to get Astra's Dancer and Endymion here with the stun. And it's over!
There you go, there you go. Nice job, Umbra.
Hey, good job, Team Umbra. That was a fairly even match through and through.
Very
Back
much
and
so.
forth. I was so focused on the kill that looked like it was getting set up that I didn't realize, and I guess Astra didn't, that nobody was contesting the crystal, which is you've got to have somebody stalling that point. In,
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. You know, senile, everything. Yeah, it's about the game objective. It's definitely one of the things that we take for granted. The game only continues if somebody's touching on the point. Yep, yep, yep. I gotta admit, that was a wonderful first match. Really neck and neck with each other. There was a lot of back and forth. But you could really see the power at their team comp because Astra's, or was, yeah, because of Umbra's really short cooldowns on their LBs, especially between the Black Mage and the Reaper. They were able to capitalize and keep snowballing these leads marginally, making sure that Astra never had an opportunity to recuperate.
Yeah, there's a lot of micro decisions that can really shift the tide, and I think that's what we saw in that match with Astra getting the first 2 kills, but Umbra really sort of regrouping at their point and just pushing it back across the line. And I don't think once they pushed out of their checkpoint, they gave up control of the crystal from any point after that.
That's right, that's right. They maintained their lead the entire way through. So one interesting thing that I could definitely note was the idea that you don't strictly need to play for objective. You kind of saw it a little bit towards the middle of the game. You can make the informed decision that maybe you want to leave point, but you're chasing kills. This gives you the advantage that death timers are actually going to extend a little bit further for the opposition, and to make sure that you can maintain those staggers for even longer of a time. Sometimes it is beneficial to chase those kills, but you just got to make sure that the objective is on your main site.
And that's what we saw in the back half of that match.
That's right.
Team Umbra chasing down kills in Astra's backline. Meanwhile, their Dark Knight was pushing the crystal while they were able to keep that 4v going.
All by themselves. Yep, you hate to see it, but somebody's got to do the dirty work there.
They say the wise man pushes crystal, so that looks
I can literally hear the sound effects. I can literally hear the sound. Push the crystal. Push the crystal. Push the crystal. Ah, yes. Ah, how I miss the glory days. Of course, of course. So it does look like Ruja has opted to switch. Oh, wait, these are randomized, right? So I don't need to worry about that. Ruja on a very comfortable class is on the Dragoon over here. Finch on their main role, Black Mage. I can see them having a great time this game. Tapeworm ending up on Samurai. Let's see if they can make the most use out of their massive LB. But that is not the only benefit of bringing a Samurai. They're definitely able to wade into the middle of combat. They have a lot of tools to survive, mitigate damage, recover their HP, even crowd control. They have it all. They're definitely a jack of all trades, melee type. And Haku getting really low, gets popped immediately.
Yep, Astra's easily getting forced into a disadvantage here with Lenaher going down, Haku down as well, Kells and Amphibian both low on resources, having to fall back. It's looking like Umbra is really just trying to make a quick 2-0 out of this.
Let's see if Umbra can make sure to secure the rest of these kills. There are going to be a couple more chances to recuperate off of this. Unfortunately, the Paladin was the next one to go down, so there is nobody who could save Endymion from the unrelenting pressure coming from Umbra, and this is looking like a very quick grab. Leonhardt is covering their teammate, giving Tapeworm a second opportunity at life, but this is what you hate to see. Unfortunately, everybody else just turns their pressure on Leonhardt because they don't have guard anymore, and that's an easy pick to secure.
However, Haku was holding the point, and then Miss Kells rotated on to cover, and it looks like Astra is at least pushing it out of the checkpoint, and bombs are coming in, which are going to make a explosive difference in the match, potentially swinging this back in Astra's favor.
It seems like there is every effort to try and manage to get back on their feet with Astra. Unfortunately, I don't see how they can do it. The death timers are starting to grow. Unfortunately, there is no chance to recuperate from this point. Endymion's holding on for dear life. They go down. Tapeworm soon to follow any second now. They really know how to keep this game shut. Umbra really knows how to keep the pressure on. They seem to know exactly what game plan they had in mind to make sure they could wrap this up into an easy 2-0.
And Sosig cleaning up with that Ninja Limit Break for their 5th kill in a row here. And it looks like Miss Kells is going to go down. Umbra really diving into the back line, saying, let's put a bow on this, finish it up, onto the next set. And Damien is going to try to stall with that Dancer Limit Break, synergizing with Miss Kells' Bahamut. Is it going to be enough? They got one. Revna stalling on point with that Dark Knight Limit Break. That's going to make them invulnerable. Oh,
and
but
there is a
Tapeworm
kill
takes down
secure.
Rufus Thorn with the Samurai Limit Break. This might be what Astra needs to get back in the game.
That's right, but you can see they're starting to run out of gas. These major limit breaks they've been building up to are barely keeping them afloat. It seems like there might have been some miscommunication with Tapeworm and Leon Hart ending up using the guard over there. We'll see if it bites them in the butt, but it does seem like Astra might just be able to stabilize off of the skin of their teeth.
And Damien is going to get that hit from chasing down Bicycle Salesman. Tiny Sosik is going to stall the point. Astra really wants to be pushing this back across their side of the field here. So that point stall might be what Umbra needs to regroup and finish things off.
At this point, it's up to Astra to try and make the most of this momentum shift. Maybe they'll be able to secure a couple more picks before they have to give up the point again to recuperate. Haku, the only one who's actually low on resources over here. Tiny Sausage getting low. Ruja, there's a couple of members from Umbra side who are getting low, but there are no conversions. There is no immediate kill potential now that the Black Mage is done. At this point, it's only up to the Summoner and their Fester, and that's a major cooldown to blow on what might not be a kill
Here
secure.
comes the Dancer LB. He's going to pick a couple of people. Looks like they got 3. But without a conversion, they're going to be hard-pressed to make something out of it. There is a Dragoon in the air, and
That's
Rouge is
right,
gonna
that's
get a
right.
kill. Looks like Revna took one down as well.
That's right, and it seems like the Paladin is really opting to save their LB. Unfortunately, they had to concede the point because of the Dragoon LB. You really felt the underwhelming amount of immediate kill pressure coming from the Dancer LB. Nobody was there to really convert except for the Samurai. They did manage to secure one pick, but without Haku being the majority of their damage, there was nothing else they could do. They had to relent, and they had to give up the point.
Revna is going to go down, but that is going to be traded for a kill on Haku, Astra's Black Mage. And Astra is running out of time to start making some progress. I think this is really Umbra's game to lose.
That's right. At this point, you have to be keeping in mind that timer. Unfortunately, Astra needs to maintain one person on the point at any given time while anything else happens. That's almost an insurmountable objective at this point with this many people down. One person's coming back from base. Haku trying to make it there for their team. They did manage to get into overtime, so they will play this out. Leon Hart pops the Dragoon or the Paladin LB. They
also have a Dark Knight LB from Umbra, giving just trading stall for stall on this overtime.
That's right. I don't see how Leon Hart and their team manages to pull this out of the fire. Unfortunately, they are getting bursted. They don't get to recuperate.
But Tapeworm gets on the point and is going to get it to 50. Astra has one hell of a death march ahead of them, but they might be able to do this if they play their cards right.
Unfortunately, there are 3 people down, and Dimium has to pop the Dancer LB for any sort of a saving grace. Let's hope in some way Miss Kells might be able to do this. At least to be able to stall off the point and get some of their members back. Miss Kells isn't really getting focused down, and Dimion is getting chased. This is what you do to make sure you secure every lead. You do not relent on the people who are trying to run and get a recuperate off. You make sure to secure those kills. Go around the corner. Leave one person on the point to stall it, while everybody else make sure they maintain that advantage.
Dragoon Limit Break, really putting a bow on this. Finch
That's
and
a
Tiny
nail in the
Sosik
coffin.
speeding up with that Ninja LB and Black Mage damage.
That really has to be the nail in the coffin over here. There is no way to turn this around. Nice job,
That is
Umbra.
gonna do it. Umbra really leveraging those resources they built up off that advantage that let them just stall on the checkpoint and like take 50. Yeah, what about it?
That's how you wrap up a game. That's how you really show a really strong lead. Nice job to Umbra over here. Astra, you had some fantastic plays to really showcase over here. Thanks for the games.
Absolutely. Hell of a comeback from Team Astra, but Umbra just really had a show of dominance there.
I gotta admit, there were a couple of times where you really saw that Astra had the opportunity to capitalize off of that momentum shift. Unfortunately, it seemed like anytime there was a new pick-off, it was just a staggering 4v5 difference. At any time that Black Mage went down, most of their damage had to stem from the samurai, and unfortunately being a little bit more vulnerable to their position against that many range characters made it really difficult for them to make a lot of moves without having to pop a purify.
And I think the major difference for Umbra there was, I'm sure you noticed they had just laser focus on anyone with no guard, with no purify, low MP. As soon as they realized someone on Astra was low on resources, they were on it and capitalizing, converting that into a kill.
One of my favorite things to see is understanding objective base play. And technically, the crystal doesn't move any faster, no matter how many people you put on it. So why not just leave one person on it to make sure that they're holding that point, they're maintaining their advantage, while everybody else find something else to do. That is the best that you can find with micromanagement play. That comes from experience with playing with others and making sure you coordinate with your team. I wonder if they're actually having a conversation about it in mid-flight. I would love to know if these people are really taking coordination as their first priority, or maybe they're more casual, laid back. This is their routine and they know what to do. That's really what it takes when it comes to this PvP mentality.
I bet we had some shot calling happening. I know Finch is a great black mage, and a ranged DPS is such a great candidate to call the target, especially black mage. Say, hey, here's who I'm lining up, I'm building stacks, here we go, kill it.
Yeah, we definitely saw some really good coordination from both teams there in the second match. Team Astra got snowballed pretty hard, looked like they weren't going to make it, did manage to make a comeback, but those early deaths really added to the counters, which really crippled them when they were trying to get that final push underway. And we really saw those death counters finish them off as they're trying to hang on to the point during overtime. You know, we kept seeing people with just a sliver of health barely getting relieved by somebody fresh, hopping on. And that those early deaths, they come back to bite you.
That's right. There are two things that you need to be sure about. This is a game that requires you to manage your cooldowns. One of those major cooldowns being your limit break. It is based on you being alive. It turns out, if you're dead, you don't build towards that major game-changing limit break that could possibly turn the tide of battle in your favor. You need to make sure that you're understanding your survival tools, or whether a paladin is covering you, or maybe a healer that's out of line of sight. You could be looking for these things to make sure that you're keeping yourself up a little bit longer to eke out every opportunity to get those extra LBs. As a matter of fact, one of the major cooldowns over here being the paladin LB is one of the longest ones in the game, and unfortunately, you might only see 2 of them. Granted, you need to be alive for the entire segment of the game. If a lot of the time you're ending up tanking and spending a lot of time on the floor, you're not going to see that second one. Those are the kinds of things you should be careful of when it comes to you putting yourself out there to make these riskier plays. And you really saw it bite the paladin in the butt that last game especially, because they did come out of spawn. They covered their ally. It was a great objective play to make, but it left them without a guard, and they ended up getting picked off immediately after, basically dying off a cooldown. It was very difficult to watch.
All right, so it looks like set 2 teams are populating right now. Just a reminder for anybody watching that wants to join in, come on down to Diabolos Wolves Den Pier. That's sunny Diabolos, but it's not sunny right now. It's kind of overcast. Talk to Shizuko Sakura beautiful bun right here. Send them a tell, and they will get you signed up for a set of Crystalline Conflict Roulette. We play a best 2 of 3 with randomized teams, and yeah, just have a good time. Looks like both teams are full up, so it's time to spin the wheel, huh?
I'm looking forward to this possibly being another Polystra match. People know it's my favorite. And it's fantastic. Please don't be C9. Please don't be C9. Please. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, let's go. Nice. All right, so I might be a little bit biased over here, but I feel like when it comes to the best coordinated play you could see, Polystra is definitely one of them. Less gimmicks on the map, but there is certainly a lot of advantage to take off of with those speed lanes. On the sides of the map over there, there are 2 speed lanes in total, one for each team that they can have access to. It helps them get into the battle faster, but you need to be at around that 40% mark to make the most use of it. Some people can use it to cheese the back line or to really be a nuisance, kind of a thorn on the side for the other team. But it's also just as easy to end up overextending to end up caught out.
That's very true. Polystra is my favorite to play on just because it's less things to think about in a match. But you know what? I love watching a match on Cloud9. I just love it.
There's something magical about not knowing which way the match could swing, huh? Yeah, definitely. So we are looking at the glams over here. Some pretty nice ones. I like the one Finch has got going for them with the lantern. Very nice.
Cool portrait going.
Yeah. Very nice portrait. Very nice. Seems like the other team has a couple of primal portraits over there. You know. If you know, you know.
Hey, let's get into the game. Smoosh, John, thanks so much for holding it down while I was muted for like 2 minutes and having.
Is that what happened? Oh, it's okay. I got you, buddy. I got your back.
It was great. I was like, oh yeah, Smoosh is getting it. We've got a dialogue, and then I'm like, wait, why am I not lighting up?
And I can't imagine why. What? How quirky, how unusual. Well, it's okay. We got your back, buddy. You're okay here. You're good. You're in good hands.
Thank you. So Astra, having a very damage-focused team here, very range-heavy as well, with the Bard, Machinist, and Black Mage. I think we're going to see some big damage here, but they are vulnerable, with Ruja being the only front line. Meanwhile, Umbra does have a more balanced team with 2 range, healer, tank, and melee.
One of the main things to keep an eye on over here for Team Astra is the amount of crowd control they have. There is a silence, a snare, a couple of others. That Machinist is going to be a major issue for them if they can't get their hands on it. Ruja, as expected, has to put themselves into it to be one of the main focuses of the enemy team. This is how they win these games. Ruja putting themselves at risk, but making sure that their range allies can make the most of those moments. Raid maybe going down over here. They do have their Black Blood. They have a couple of other tools to survive, but they are hovering around the memory. But they end up going down.
Coming in with a steel chair to get that kill.
Very solid lead for Team Astra over here, as expected from our frontliner. Being able to capitalize on the game plan, making sure that there is as much of a disruption and an eyesore as possible, while letting their range characters take every advantage.
Absolutely. Rush's jumping in, making great use of guard and the ground pots scattered around the map for healing, while Bicycle Salesman picking up that last kill. Astra's range is just really putting in work, while Ruja, who just picked up another kill, is drawing focus onto the point.
That's right. They are doing it by the book. This is literally textbook play. You only have one melee character, that's all you need, technically. If they know how to hold themselves in that frontline position, making sure to exert that pressure, that's how you win these games. It seems like a Tandrian might go down. Yeah. What a surprising pop. There's a lot going on right now through the heads of Umbra. They're wondering, how do we get back into this game? They had to concede the 50% mark. It is a very strong advantage for Team Astra over here, but I do imagine the crackback is soon on its way.
And
Raven,
there's the limit break kill from Ruja, getting the instant kill on Haku. Revna looking like they might be next to go down. Meanwhile, that crystal is getting dangerously close to Umbra's goal line. Finch getting a third kill of the game. Do I see 4? Just
a lot of the
pumping
LBs
out
are starting
damage
to
from
come
that
out for
back-mage limit
Umbra.
break.
A lot of these LBs are starting to pop up for Umbra, but nobody's able to capitalize on them anymore. There is a major numbers disadvantage. There is not much of a foothold to be had for them. I don't see how they make it back out of this.
Hyrule going down in the attempt to disengage. Ruja taking a 4th kill, jumping on to the back line here, making Haku have a very bad day, and is going to let Astra push the point into the goal line.
Fantastic game. Wow, absolutely textbook gameplay that you can come to expect from really seasoned players over here at Crystalline Conflict. Finch and Ruja really know how to work off of each other, making sure that nobody ever even gets to bat an eye towards Finch without Ruja being in the middle of them. It's very clear that they understood what the bodyguard mentality was. Sometimes you can play it that way, but Ruja really sticking it in the middle of the group, disrupting them, making sure to hold people down. It was very, very clear textbook case how you play a frontline.
Yeah, Ruja and Bicycle Salesman really had a great game plan there, with the Samurai jumping in, absorbing damage with Guard and G10. Meanwhile, Bicycle Salesman is using those incredibly strong Astrologian heals, and I'm sure Umbra was just looking at that Samurai going, why won't you die?
That's right. That's exactly right. There were a couple of different things maybe they could have taken into account. At any point, before you're even looked at, or in the middle of your guard, you can be sure that the Dark Knight can be able to pop their LB as long as they're not silenced or stunned or suppressed. There should be a couple of different opportunities where you should be able to pop that LB comfortably. You are putting yourself at 1 HP, but the amount of time you buy with that quote-unquote borrowed time is so essential for your team to try and build an advantage off of it. You're literally unkillable. You are a massive disruption. You can heal and lifesteal off of it. You can make sure that you have the right placement for your team to make something of it. If you never get to pop that major cooldown, it is setting your team back. You might as well use it while you're a little bit above half HP, at least to make sure that you get something out of it.
Absolutely. The worst thing you can do in CC, the second worst thing I should say, is die. The worst thing you can do is die with a limit break that could have prevented it.
Oh, well, I was going to say die with 10k mana, but, you know, okay, I mean, well, I mean, you know, just my experience or something. Anyway, here we go. Big opener coming in over here.
Finch is diving straight into Umbra's backline. A Tangerine very low, a Tangerine very dead. Looking like Hakuzashi is going to be next.
Oh my god, that's a really early pop over here. It seems like they already knew who to take out of the scene immediately right off the bat. Vlentia actually managing to hold her. They might go down pretty soon. There is a little bit of blood for blood going on over here. Ravna goes down with 7k HP, or 70,000 mana over here. Amazing. And that's an immediate numbers advantage going Astra's way. Again, very textbook gameplay. There is a lot of coordination going on over here. They did get that early pickoff on the monk at the very start of the game. Nobody's on the crystal, but finally they are securing that. They're making sure they're maintaining the objective advantage, right? One person has to maintain on that crystal the entire time, at the very least, to stall it or to push it.
And here we go. We're seeing Revna go down with some really great build-up from Astra, forcing that guard and then having a game plan to execute immediately after guard is over.
Pyro popping the roll, making sure to get a disruption. They might be able to take down Ruja over here. Ruja going really low on resources. Does have an LB to crack back. And they turn the advantage around. Ruja will be able to skate out of this with the skin of their teeth. Amazing turnaround play. That really came from medial drive, making sure to secure one of the players, hold them down to make sure that there was no more damage coming their way while the rest of the team focus on the other instigator.
Absolutely. What we're seeing here is when crowd control goes out, there's a lot of damage being pumped into that target. I saw a marksman spike on a CC target in our last game, and there really is no such thing as overkill in CC.
That's right. If you can make sure to maintain that numbers advantage, there is no such thing as wasted damage. The best crowd control you can find in this game is called death. It puts you out of misery for 10 seconds. Can you imagine what kind of advantage you can make off of that?
God, I wish that were me. I mean, what? Uh-oh. Revna Tailstrom stalling on point with the Dark Knight Limit Break, trying to buy some time for the team to regroup, but it looks like Tandrian is going to go down. Mami Tomoe absolutely doing work with 5 kills here on Bard. Finch claiming a second, but that's not to say that Finch isn't doing work, because Black Mage has some massive cleave and AoE damage that they're putting out when they're not the ones taking the kills.
You can really see the power of
a kill with the Machinist Limit Break.
You can see a fantastic amount of power extending from the fact that there's only one frontliner, but that one frontliner knows how to make the most use of their positioning while their teammate sits comfortably back without much opposition, without much of a dive.
That's right. Finch getting their 3rd kill of the match here. Meanwhile, it's looking like Astra wants a kill out of guard, and they're gonna get it, taking down Haku.
At this point, they're just
deep
securing
freezes.
Yeah,
they're just cleaning the map here.
They're cleaning up house.
Gonna get a kill here. But is it going to be enough to let Umbra contest this point and potentially turn the fight around?
You know, we don't hear it enough how much an advantage these people are giving, but I'm here to shout out for the silent minority over here. Mommy needs to be given a commendation for how long they're sticking on this crystal over here. They're watching everything fly by, a million effects going up, but Mommy's standing firm on the crystal, making sure that they're doing everything in their power to secure this win.
Absolutely. Really holding the point down. I'm a Bard main, so I'm biased, but they're doing great work, buffing their team, getting those silences, with Astra getting 2 picks. 3. Do I see the fries? There it is. Where's the drink?
Goodness. Let's see it. Let's see the full team wipe. Oh, any second over here, Rev, you gotta hold it down.
Fighting for their life.
You can see how
and
much
there's
punishment.
The full combo.
Fantastic.
With the crystal going right into the goal.
Wonderful, wonderful textbook
Holy
game.
cow. Good job, Team Astra.
What a show of dominance. Astra taking it 2-0 with a pair of just absolute death marches.
You can really see the amount of time. Yeah.
Once they got into the driver's seat, they just refused to give up crystal progress.
That's right. Professional crystal pushers are in this game. They do exist. They are in your queues. You just need to find them.
They do exist. They're not cryptid. They are out there.
They're over here in PvP Revival, CC Roulette, Week 17. They do exist. They're here. But in all sincerity, thank you so much for the fantastic round. Again, you can really see how much they can really lay waste to these teams once they have that numbers advantage. It's not just the healing. It's not just the amount of damage going out. It's the fact that there is no position where you're safe. At that point, you're hanging out in the base and they're running you down. There's not much you can do at that point except hold out on a prayer.
Absolutely, and Astra is just in the driver's seat, forcing every misplay, converting it into a kill. Really knew what they were doing, and had some great class choices. Some really solid microplay. Having that Bard to buff the damage output of the rest of their team, have that silence that I think was responsible for a bunch of those kills, and the Machinist on Astra was making excellent use of their turret. I don't know if everybody noticed that, but there were some points where Astra's players were getting tunneled, but standing under the machinist turret, getting that refreshing 6k shield every tick was doing so much work, keeping them alive and keeping the push going.
That's right. It's not just an offensive tool. It's actually a two-way street with that. You're not only providing damage or susceptibility towards the enemy team, you're also maintaining the advantage for your team by giving them a positive buff to work with. You are actually increasing their survivability by a monumental amount. All it requires is them to stand it. Please just stand it. Just stand in it. Just please just sit in it. I need you to sit in it. Well, I don't know where that came from, but yeah, it turns out if nobody can reach the back line over here, there's not much opposition that could be made of it. Maybe we could have seen a monk diving the back line, being another disruptor on the field. Maybe that's what was missing, right? I'm looking at Umbra's team, and I'm trying to decide what are some things maybe they could have done to make it a little bit more even on the terrain, or to at least make Astra not sit back on their hands so much, right? And one of the things I'm thinking about is backline diving, right? If you are enough of a distraction that you're maintaining the pressure on one or two people, you are giving a numbers advantage in a different way, right? Let's say you are a monk player who knows their survival tools. They know how to guard. They know how to dash from target to target, including their teammates, to really lay on the pressure, but also get out safely. Well, you're providing a massive benefit to your team because you're making sure that they're trained on you. Their what do you call them? Their sights are trained on you, that they have to deal with the problem. And if they have to deal with the problem, that means that they're not focusing their teammates. I feel like that was one simple thing that maybe another melee character on the Umber side could have maybe considered.
Yeah, and we saw some really, really excellent use of that frontline play from Astra, with Ruja knowing exactly when to jump in, how much damage to soak, when it's time to leave. Just really drawing focus when I think, Umbra's play was get in the back line, kill the black mage, kill the machinist, kill the black mage.
Just kill the black mage. Listen,
You have to.
great.
You have to kill the black mage. Just a reminder for everybody watching, this right here is Shizuko, the beautiful bun dancing on the Aetheryte railing. Send them a tell to get signed up for a future set. The teams have been announced, and the party is populating.
These games are right here. They are available for you to join. There is no requirement, really. You don't need prior experience to the umpteenth degree. You don't need to be the top 100 player that, you're missing out on. You are the top 100 player. I'm sure there's less than 100 players here. But, the matter of the fact is, these games are available for you to meet new friends, to meet a fantastic community that's definitely doing its best to make sure that this scene is everything it can be. These games are brought to you by people that are passionate about the PvP scene, and these games are a fantastic way to get introduced to this community.
Absolutely. We've said it before, and we'll say it again. This is the best way to get your feet wet. If you have always been nervous about joining LP and trying out coordinated play, but if you've got starry eyes after watching CCRC and you want your name to be announced making these spectacular plays, there's just not really anywhere else that you're going to get this kind of introduction to it.
Absolutely. And speaking of CCRC, a great example of how much of a melting pot these games are. We have some celebrities here. We've got Jay Vermillion in this set, multi-rank 1 on Ether, as well as Big Sook. Did I get that right?
Big Sook.
Is that right? Big Sook
one of our
in the
CCRC 2023 finalists showing out on Team for Kittens.
Fantastic.
had
We love Big Sook over here, don't we? We love the Big Sook.
big.
From Twitch chat, Shui Inc. Feel free to come on down to Diabolos and join us. You may not know if you're good at PvP or not, but you'd actually be surprised at having an opportunity to hop into a team with a voice chat channel available for you to use with your team in Revival Discord. And you can try your hand at coordinating with some of the other veterans and beginner players that we have signing up for sets tonight. And you know, if you do, I promise you're going to come away with an experience where you realize you probably are very good at PvP. You just needed a chance to shine.
And it's such a great learning experience. You know, some of the players here, I am a 3-time top 100 player, and I have learned so much from some of these players. So really, it's always about improvement. And the people who are coming out and playing in these matches have a lot of knowledge to share, and you know, are willing to share that to make you a better player.
Coming from a 4-time top 100 player over here, I gotta concur. I gotta say, you got the right of it. I like your gumption, kiddo. I like it. I like what I'm seeing over here.
All right. Let's see here. Our registration specialist is experiencing some technical difficulties with their internet now. So if you are wanting to sign up, send a tell to Arian Rosecrown, the napping Lullafell on the Aetheryte rail. As soon as we get Shizuko back, we can get lead passed. Let's see here.
Seems like they are talking to you in chat. Maybe that's who you're looking for. In the meantime, though, I gotta say, these matches have been really concerted efforts on both teams, right? Like, they do have the game plan set. They know what they're looking to do in these matches. And it just seems like the amount of effort put into it is kind of like leaving them at different footholds, right? For a long time, Astra didn't really have much of an opposition, but you see those moments of brilliance, right? Where Umbra managed to push them off the point to maybe make a comeback off of that. I love seeing those moments. I wish I could see more of them, where it just feels like it could go either way, right? The back and forth snapshotting and everything. There's a lot going on when it comes to maintaining these advantages, but also pushing them back and making a crackback. I definitely want to see the extent of which these games could rubber band back and forth.
Absolutely. We've seen some really, really concerted pushes in these games, but as I could tell you, or many of the people here, one strong push is only one death away from going in the other direction.
That's right, that's right. So, one of the major things I enjoy about CC over here has to be the fact that when it comes to fulfilling the fantasy of your class and its role, right? That's what you get the most out of this game. The fact that, you know, when you go into a PvE match, like a dungeon or something, and you're the paladin and you're doing your holy sword combo again for the 50th time on the boss, I'm like, that's great. Very cool. You know what's even better than that? Blowing somebody up with your holy sword combo in a PvP match. You can really feel the weight of it, the emphasis of how much damage you're dealing. There is so much more going on when those abilities are limited to major cooldowns that last 10 seconds, 12 seconds, a full minute on, and you're making every single moment count. It's beautiful watching these effects fly off, knowing they're not just filler combos, they're not just spaced out combos that last 2 minutes long. They're definitely used for a purpose. There's something beautiful about PvP for that.
Yeah, You've got the sort of 2-minute cycle that we see in PvE, and PvP, it's so much faster. It's like 20 seconds between each big burst with cooldowns lining up, and it gets explosive. You see buttons come live, a team will pick a target, and if they don't see it coming, they're dead.
That's right. That's right. As a matter of fact, a lot of these blowups that you're seeing are not necessarily just because somebody's forgetting to push recuperate. Sometimes it's just a matter of unfortunate events, snapshotting. This game works off of server tick rates. That means that even though technically you see a visual effect come out, that spell was already casted almost a full second before that moment in time. There might not be a lot of margin for these players to react to it, even though they're doing their best to make sure that they're surviving for their team. It just happens to be tick rate issues. It just happens to be server side things where they might not have a lot of opportunity to respond.
That's right, and that's why at a high level, one of the most important and most subtle skills that you'll see people demonstrate is the ability to proactively sort of see into the future and predict incoming damage and make use of their guard before it hits. Because if you're using guard reactively, it might be too late. One of the most infamous examples being our good friend Marksman's Spite, where if that crosshair is on you, you're cooked. Hope you got the HP to survive it.
One of the worst feelings in the world.
Once you see the reticle on you, it's already too late.
It's already Jover from there.
It's
That's
Jover.
Right. It's all Jover from
Jover.
there.
All right. So we had to rebalance the teams, get things swapped over from Shizuko to Ariane. So that's another thing that we do here. We make sure that no one team is so super powered that the other team won't have a chance. But Party Finder is up. We're waiting for, it looks like, one more person for Team Astra. And then we'll be ready to go to Clockwork.
So Clockwork.
Castletown.
Yeah,
For those
I spun the wheel a while ago, and then we encountered internet issues and then team balance issues.
For those of you
Smoosh, do
who
you want to tell everybody what they're in for on
I
Clockwork?
would if you let me get it out there.
I'm gonna.
So
Hey,
for those
Smoosh,
of
do you want to tell people about Clockwork?
I am gonna
Smoosh.
I am gonna. Oh, you did not say you called me here for this. Oh no.
We love you. Sorry.
Yeah, you too. You too.
It was an easy joke. Go ahead, Smoosh. Go ahead.
All right. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the, I guess you could say, eccentricities of Clockwork, right? Essentially, what happens is at regular intervals during the game, two puppets come out from both sides of the crystal, right? And they have a couple of gimmicks set to them. One of them is brandishing a sword. If you do not have your guard up, you immediately get KO'd. You do get sunk down to 0. Doesn't matter what you have up outside of Living Dead or the Paladin's invulnerability. You are going down. There's nothing you can do. Kiss your butt goodbye if you don't have your guard up or you're not out of that circle. The other one has a charm effect, which can minimize you if you are in the line of sight of it and you're looking directly at it. Make sure you have your back turned away or your guard. You can snapshot these things. You can play around with the server ticks just like you would in regular gameplay.
That's right. You got to really sort of see into the future again with those, because I've had matches where I think I'm safe, and then I turn into a teeny little middy and go, "What? How am I? Oh, I'm dead."
That's right. That's right. You hate to see it. Minimize not only reduces your size, it also increases the amount of damage you take. It also lowers your total HP count. You are going down if you're anywhere near anybody else.
Don't forget slows. It slows you down
Don't forget
too.
it slows you too. Don't forget. Yep. And you add all points of the game. Want to avoid looking at that omyoji, is I believe that's what you call it. Yeah, these dolls tend to come out. They also drop piles of gold. If you do not have a full LB gauge, and that is the key word, if you don't have a full LB gauge, it'll help you reach that LB sooner. But if you're sitting at a full LB, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to pick up these gold piles. They do not increase your damage, unlike those red orbs found at Volcano.
All right, so taking a look at the teams here, we have some really strong players, some really strong jobs. Dragoon, Warrior, Black Mage, Dancer, all jobs that can take strong advantage of this map and its mechanics. We've got Big Suck on his main of Machinist, Jay Vermillion playing Monk, and Jay can play just about anything, but I gotta say, make fun of me in Twitch chat, I think Jay is maybe one of the 2 best Monk players playing Crystal Conflict.
When your friends become your enemies, I'm so sorry.
Oh
well,
my goodness!
Anyway,
Big
look
Suck
at the
getting
action.
yanked
Wow,
into
amazing.
the back line.
Oh,
was able to
Jesus.
successfully pre-guard a lot of that damage, but he is
Big
gonna go
Suck
down.
Goes down. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness.
Jay
Oi-chan,
Vermillion
my
is hungry, running down Big Suck, standing on Lillian here, forcing the tatami mats.
Seems like there's a little bit of a back and forth. Leonhard actually making very good use of their cover to reposition. That is one of the mobility tools of a paladin. You can technically break distance and close back the distance to a teammate. You can potentially juke some people. It did not pay off over there, and it looks like a very solid lead for Astra.
Yep, Hyrule claiming 2 kills here, looking for a 3rd. Meanwhile, Jay is deep in the back line, looking for that kill on a Tandrian, who has no guard, has no resources, and has no hit points.
This is what you want to see out of a Monk player. If you're a Monk player looking to bring the most out of your game, you're a sticky character that's making sure that they're maintaining the pressure at 100% with those dashes, making sure they can dip in and out of combat, and you have guaranteed follow-ups with your Meteor Drive.
Absolutely. We're seeing Umbra get a bit of a regroup here, but Hyrule is going to get a kill, and Tapeworm is going to get another. The Astra really just
But
holding
nobody's
W
on the
into Umbra's
point.
backline. Yeah, the point did start to reset towards neutral. We've got a Dragoon in the air. Are they going to be able to get a kill with it? Dropping on a Tandrian. Didn't get the kill, but they did most of the work, dropping 30,000 damage.
Very
on a
solid
Tandrian
work over here. Very solid work from Astra. This is what you want to see the Monk player do. Absorb and make sure that they can dish out the damage just as well. Make sure they're maintaining that 4v5 advantage, because Meteor Drive is such an oppressive tool. You can't cleanse that. You can't cleanse that CC. You're held down for 3 seconds. And guess what? If you have 4 other characters looking at you, you are going down.
We've got Big Suck and Jay Vermillion going kill for kill here, turning this into a 4v4. After trying to turn it into a 3v3 with Yojimbo on the point. Is anybody going to go down? It's had some close calls, but everybody is still in the game.
Outside trying to make the most of this, trying to kick it back towards the other team. Unfortunately, they don't seem to be able to get much of anything to recuperate. They are at a 4v5. Leonhard does go down, unfortunately, before they get their LB. The charm goes off.
Coming out is going to catch Jay here. Is this going to be the end for the Jay Vermillion? It sure is.
Actually, you can see a little bit of an effort being made from Umbra. They do know what to do. They know they needed to maintain one person having a footfall on the point. They are managing to push it away. They are managing to stem this bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, but Umbra has a long way to go with 2 minutes to play and a percent lead of 92.420. They're going to be hard pressed to get things onto the other side of the field.
You can see these coins are starting to fall from the top of the field. Again, they do increase your limit break. If you are a little bit away from it, maybe that's a little bit you need to reach it. But unfortunately, if you are capped on it, you can't pick up these coins, which means the enemy team can.
Tandrin's going to go down here from Blentia, getting a bit of an overextend punish there. While Leon Hurricane
A massive Dragoon
going
LB!
to get Dragooned!
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
The Samurai LB comes out, but doesn't get the instant kill.
You really trying to make the most of it. Maybe didn't have the right target selected. I could have sworn I did see somebody with the cheat and debuff. It seems like a very solid game from Astra over here. It doesn't seem like they're going to be able to recuperate. The death timers must be growing astronomical for Umbra at this point. Even if they do manage to climb their way, claw their way back to at least maintaining it even, death timers means that any one last kill could be the last for them.
But you know what, Smoosh? It's all Jover.
It's all Jover now. It's all Jover
While
now.
Astra was deep in Umbra's spawn, Oichan, the wise man on Scholar, It's just pushing that crystal.
Not even the big suit can save you from this one, fellas. I'm so sorry to hear it. Did I really say I'm so sorry? What am I doing? Who let me on the stage? Who let me here?
Let's get the next map.
Let's-
Oh wait, that's not the next map.
That
That's
was,
our-
that was
our-
a fun match.
That was our
Yeah,
team
yeah, it was
randomizer.
definitely
Let's do
fantastic.
this.
You gotta admit, Clowntown Central is definitely one of the best places to be playing CC matches. There's so much going on. It's a sensory overload. There are a million things happening on screen. There's gold piles everywhere. LBs flying around. It's a fantastic, fun time. It almost makes it feel like a party game.
Some sort of party.
Yeah. We're
It's
having
definitely a
alright,
party.
Yeah,
A light party, if you will. A light party, if you will.
I gotta say, we had some really great limit breaks, really great, plays all around. Really, the players on both teams, but especially Astra, they're demonstrating how to take full advantage out of your kit. Tapeworm on Warrior was just converting kill after kill, with Bloda yanking an enemy player into the rest of their team to capitalize on it. And I gotta say, I made it about halfway through the match before every time that Bloda came out, I just started hearing.
I like how the mic cutout really sells it for me.
I know, right?
Just you hear ah, and silent, and then you hear.
almost like 1,000 CC voices were silent. I love these games. Yep, there's just something magical about knowing what's going on behind the scenes and everything. And that's really what you want to be seeing from these warrior players. You are the disruptor. I know it's very impulsive to see these big damage moves that you see them all grouped and everything, right? You want to make the most use out of warriors' damage. Outside of their main burst combo, they don't have much else, which means it's up to you as a warrior player to make the judgment call. Maybe you would rather save that primal Ren to secure a pick to make sure and guarantee that stun is gonna make a pick off. It does mean giving up your damage in those scenarios, and you could really see between the Bloda, between the primal Rens and the onslaughts, that they were making the most use of just sticking to the call, not looking for those massive game-changing AoE movements, but making sure that they got these picks as best as possible.
Yeah, you love to put up a funny scoreboard where you go 9-0. But more than that, the way that you win is you force the misplays and you take full advantage off everyone. And we saw players using forced movement and crowd control to really set up those situations and capitalize on them.
That's right, and one of the big things I was really looking for from Team Umbra was maybe the turnaround potential of Kasai Kage on the ninja and the cheat and debuff from the samurai, but unfortunately it didn't seem like there was much of an opportunity to get people set up in these situations. A lot of the experience is really starting to shine, because for newer players on the PvP scene, these things are a major hindrance to their progress. They might think, oh, the ninja's overpowered. It can kill me immediately below half health. Or, oh god, I hit the samurai. Now I'm gonna die with the cheat and buff. They're looking out for these things. They're making sure these gimmicks don't take them out of the picture. And they're making sure to keep their HP topped off, or to keep an eye out for that samurai debuff. You can really see the experience shine through with these players.
There's layers and layers of counterplay that you might see in some of these interactions. Take the Samurai LB, for example. That deals damage equal to 100% of your health. That sounds like an instant kill, and I call it an instant kill, but it's not an instant kill. Because if you have a shield on you from Machinist Turret, Scholar, Summoner, you'll live and potentially be able to turn around and punish that Samurai for misuse of their limit break.
We've got over here a little bit of a mixed comp with 2 range characters, but a large portion of Astra's front line is actually going to be in the thick of it. I like to say that Valentia is probably going to be borderline immortal if they get those Wyvern Roars off well enough, especially if they're going to be diving into the middle of the group. Let's see how they play this opener. The sleep goes off. You have 2 choices, either Purify it or Guard up. Kasai Kage maybe looking for an opportunity to go in, starts poking down. They do end up closing the distance on Yu. They might be able to pop them immediately, but the guard goes up. They are going to be able to sit comfortably in there while the crackback goes on. Yu does manage to go down, actually. Yep, that's right, that's right. They did manage to make sure, secure that pickoff, yep.
Absolutely. Sometimes guard into the speed lane is a good way to get out. J Vermillion taking down the Tandrian on Monk and looking for that next kill. Looks like it might be Leonhair, who's taking a bunch of damage and is going to drop.
This is one of the major issues you see at these openers. They basically decide everything at the first part of the match, especially if they can maintain and snowball those leads. One kill doesn't lead just to more damage, it also leads to more death. Unfortunately, it seems like Umbra is really having a little bit of trouble re-coordinating. They are getting hunted down a little bit into their base. They're in the middle of it, they're in the thick of it, and they're being chased down in the back line.
And what you're seeing here is another situation where J Vermillion forcing a kill on Big Suck with that Meteor Drive, and Astra was not breaking through the checkpoint. They were focused on getting those kills, keeping the stagger going, and really ensuring that the game state works in their favor later down the line.
That's right, that's right. Tandria might have an opportunity to maybe swing this
in the
around.
air.
Oh!
But that limit break is gonna get guarded, but with 2 guards forced, they are gonna be able to take the kill right afterwards, and that's exactly what Oichan does.
Seems like Yu might have been there without a guard, or might have snapshotted the Dragoon damage instead, but maybe we'll be able to make the most use out of these limit breaks. Kasai does have it, amazing swing potential available from the ninja.
Oh my
if any of them
goodness!
drop below half.
Hyrule with the last second save on that guard, but a Tandrian is going to force a kill with Meteor Drive and get taken down in return.
Kasai did manage to get 1 snapshot. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get another. That's a major cooldown out of the way. They don't need to worry about the kill potential so much anymore from the ninja. They are taken down. This is a snowballing lead for Astra. I don't see how Umbra makes it out of this anymore.
They're going to be hard pressed.
That's right,
using
that's
that Guardian to get Big Suck out of a tight spot.
Leonhard over here.
And get back on the point.
Leonhard does have the LB over here. They might be able to make something out of it. J Vermillion holding down a Tandrian does manage to secure the pick. One of the cheesiest things you can do on this map as a monk is be able to hold down your opponent in the aisle where the bomb is going off. Massive amounts of damage, maybe a kill secure. You see it really pay off over there, which means that Astra's still holding on to their lead. Big Soup going down. Unfortunately, they did lose Tapeworm. They did lose Tapeworm off of that. Very textbook gameplay, making sure to maintain their advantage. They might chase this kill down on J Vermillion. Kasai Kage trying to disrupt the backline as much as possible, making sure Hyride doesn't really get to do too much without that kill potential being there.
But it does look like Hyrule is going to get away. Or I spoke too soon. Yu and Suck teaming up to get that pick before they can retreat in Elixir.
Seems like they've really managed to stem the bleeding. Yep, Leonhair does manage to pop out that Dragoon.
LB.
The Dragoon LB coming down at the worst time possible. Nobody's there to eat any damage.
Umbra was prepared for it, but are they going to be able to handle what's coming next? Big Suck getting a kill on Blinn after their Dragoon limit break. That's going to desync their limit break from the rest of their team and potentially give Umbra a little bit of a chance to find some breathing room.
That's right. One of the major things that you can do in this game, if you are doing coordinated play, is to coordinate LVs with your team. There are major momentum swingers. You can do a lot off of it. You can make sure that picks are happening, or you're maintaining the advantage as you push the crystal forward.
Oh my goodness, J Vermillion gonna go down in a Meteor Drive, or is he ripping Riddle of Earth to heal to full?
Yeah, hate to see it. Riddle of Earth, such a powerful healing tool. you would be surprised the amount of punishment you can take if you know your survivability tools. It does mean that you're taking a major cooldown off the table and potentially some of your damage, but if you're living, you're getting even more dividends off of it, making sure that you're going towards that next meteor drive.
Jay forced to guard. Umbra saying, all right, this time we're taking him down. Meanwhile, Tangerine has to hold down point in overtime. Umbra does have to have at least one player in the circle, or it's going to seal the deal for them here. Kasai jumping onto point at the last second, getting pulled back on.
You can really see that Umbra's really making the most of this, jumping back and forth, yo-yoing from the point to make sure they're maintaining overtime without overextending too far. Unfortunately, I don't see how they get out of this. Kasai goes down.
They are pushing towards the checkpoint, but they've still got to break through, and Astra is about to have multiple limit breaks coming back up. Jay Vermillion ripping Meteor Drive as soon as it's ready and forcing a kill.
Oh,
and there's a Dragoon limit break! Here it comes! Oh!
I think that's
It's a wipe! It's all Jover now.
It's all Jover now. What a lovely game. Fantastic from start to finish. You could really see the potential of making that comeback from the yo-yoing from Team Umbra. Unfortunately, wasn't able to make the most use out of it.
Good job to both teams. Sorry. Good job to both teams. Really just insane survival on Jay's part. It was kind of funny listening to you guys say, oh, it looks like he might be going, oh, but he lives with Riddle of Earth.
That's right, that's right.
I was muted, but you guys had me cracking up.
Riddle of Earth is an amazing haha I lived move. Like it's really fantastic in that capability.
What's the meme of the guy in the hospital bed? I lived, bitch.
Exactly. Literally that on death's door. The Grim Reaper standing over them. It's Yoshi P in the Reaper outfit, and they're like, I lived, bitch.
Yeah, I know.
See, I was thinking of a different one. I was watching Jay, that massive ROE built in guard, saying, call an ambulance, and then he rips Earth's reply.
but not for me.
So there is a major thing to know. You might be looking at Monk and saying, wow, what a overpowered class. That is one of the major tools that they use to stem a lot of the oncoming damage. They are a frontline class. They do not have as much HP as their tanking classes or some of the other melee classes, which leaves them susceptible to that. They don't technically mitigate damage, they only heal it back up. So one of the major things that you can do to try and counterplay Monk is to burst them down as hard as possible, or even better yet, you ignore them. The fact that you're ignoring them during the Riddle of Earth window means that you're not playing along with their game, giving them more damage and healing to feed back to you. As a matter of fact, you could be doing other priorities while you see that little buff timer on them. And you can make the most use of those opportunities, looking at the different party windows, seeing what buffs are active. That's how you can keep in mind cheating. Or maybe how long is left on the Paladin's LB. These are things that you can keep track of to try and play through that.
That's right. In high-level light party play, coordinated team play, it's so much of an information game. Everybody is thinking about those cooldowns and buff durations and punishing at the end of a guard or at the end of a big cooldown. Dark Knight limit break is you drop to 1 HP, you're invulnerable for the duration, and lots of Dark Knights are like, okay, well, I'll just land a big quietus at the end and heal back to full, unless the enemy bard or white mage is looking out for that and you get CC'd at 2 seconds left on that Dark Knight LB.
That's right. One of the funnest things that I used to do is just wait until the last second and then polymorph them. You'd be surprised how many messages you get after those games. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. These are things that you can really do to up your next gameplay level, right? These are things that you can proactively do to try and reach new heights. Don't just look at your own information. Don't just look at the funny bar at the bottom or the top of your screen. Make sure that you're taking into account the potential from your opponents as well. You can keep a track of those LBs. That's one of the basic pieces of information that you can gather for counterplay. If you see that a Dragoon LB is suddenly empty. You know they've jumped into the air, or maybe you can see the little blue ball. These are things that you can do to make sure that you're making the most advantage of being one of those people on your team.
I like how you say, maybe you can see the Dragoon.
Maybe. Please look
Maybe.
at the party bar. It's right
Yeah,
there, please.
look
It's
at
right
the
there.
Look at the party bars. Okay, we're going to Volcanic. While we're doing our ready check, though, wanted to bring up one of the cool new things going on in Revival right now. For those of you trying to get ranked queues going, we have, thanks to Calm Laminy, one of the owners, a ranked queue up bot that will put you in a queue prior to having to queue up in game. Serothel, what do you think of that?
I think it's great. You know, it can be tough to get matches going mid-season, especially if your particular ranked bracket is a little on the thin side. And I don't know about you guys. I got to keep my hands busy. I got to do something more than watch the AFK Cat Girls and Limsa. So being able to queue for a dungeon, go gather, go do... Nobody does Bosge anymore, but, you know, hypothetically.
Yeah.
And then the bot will tell me when a game's ready. That's great. I love it.
One of the best things that you can do to make sure that rank queue pops is queue up. I know it's very difficult sometimes with the mentality of ranked players. There's a lot going on. I understand maybe not every day is your day, but the matter of the fact is, if you are a consistent performer, if you are somebody who's proactively looking to get the most out of their game and level up, you will see dividends, you will see returns on it. You just need to queue up and get into those games.
Just to explain briefly how it works, there's a channel for the bot towards the top of Revival's channel list. You simply select reactions underneath the posts for your current data center and your current rank, and what it will do is it'll keep a list of people that are doing the same as you, clicking those reactions to let the bot know what rank they're at and what data center they're on. And then as people join it, it will notify you, hey, a queue is ready, queue up in game. So it's pretty handy.
At this game, it looks like a very balanced comp. This is almost something you find off of Party Finder, right? There's a tank, a healer, and 3 DPS on each side of the team. It looks like Umbra's sticking with the Samurai. The Dancer is a very interesting choice. We'll see if it pays off dividends, but one of the things that Umbra needs to keep in mind is to make sure that Schmuckles Fuzzy Phase over here manages to dish out the damage. As long as they can keep people off of Schmuckles, they should be okay. In the meantime, though, the opener started. It seems like they're conceding the point, actually.
Umbra
Very
playing it
interesting
slow.
play.
Meanwhile,
Yeah, that's right. That's
Leaf
right.
and Doomballoon stepping on the gas, looking for a quick kill on Alice,
Immediately
and they're gonna get it.
The polymorph was perfectly placed over there to make sure there was no way that they could get out of that scenario alive. That was all due to polymorph and uncleansable CC coming from the white mage that lasts for 2 seconds.
And we've got Doomballoon on Samurai retreating to Elixir back to full health after soaking some damage. Meanwhile, Leaf Exil on Dark Knight is moving in, soaking a bunch of damage, but is gonna go down. Got CC'd really hard and was not able to back off and heal back up.
Pale Moon tried their best to weather the storm. While they are doing that dance, they are mitigating damage. Unfortunately, it also means that you can't recuperate. It is technically a channel ability. You cannot take other actions during it. The white mages, LVs, are starting to come up. Calamus may be looking for a position to make the most use of this one. Unfortunately, their team is a little bit staggered, different positions over here. They do get polymorph. They will get popped.
That's right, stayed in a little too long. Meanwhile, Doomballoon holding them the point, backing off, while Leaf is actually the one who's holding down that point, really stalling the progress, not letting Umbra move in the other direction. Kaide coming down with the Dragoon limit break, not going to get a kill out of it just yet, but they might be able to convert on Tiramisu on the white mage. They're so close, and they're down.
One of the main things that you can really see over here is the fact that the team fights are not solely dictated by that HP count, but how many resources they have left. You can keep an eye on that MP pool, really see who's winning in these exchanges.
That's right. We're seeing a lot of back and forth here. Concerted effort to take a player down and start converting into a staggered situation that they can take advantage of. Astra having some very powerful limit breaks ready. It's going to be an explosive engagement on this checkpoint.
The Dancer LB does go off. Unfortunately, there was no return on it. That's one of the major issues that you do see from Dancers who put all of their love into the craft. Unfortunately, if you don't have teammates to capitalize on it, there's not much happening. A lot of the bombs are starting to go off over here. On random points of the map, a bomb will drop. It will go off in a crisscross pattern. And on top of it, it will leave a little orb that you can pick up for both a damage boost and a little bit of LB gauge. Kaede is managing to weather the storm. They are going to dance around over here on the point. Nobody's holding the point right now. Umbra is trying to make the most of this opportunity to try and get it away from their 50%. Unfortunately, the rest of the team is kind of scattered. It seems like there's not much going on in terms of team play right now. Tira is holding the point. There is a lot of back and forth.
In the air, and that's going to take down Schmuckles.
The big issue that we're seeing over here is that there is a lot of staggering. There might be some miscommunication as to what the game-winning move is over here for Umbra, and it's leaving them in a bad situation. Takada trying to recuperate over here isn't going to be able to make the use of it. Does manage to secure the kill on the White Mage with their LB. That's a major LP out the table.
Have gone out.
That's right.
One kill out of 2, but Doom Balloon is going to take down Takada in a honorable samurai duel, and also maybe some other damage that went out.
It does seem like they are managing to stem the bleeding a little bit. They might be able to punish Lee for overextending this far. Let's see if they secure the... In the meantime, Pale Moon actually dies in the background over here. The rest of the effort was considered on Leaf, which meant that nobody was there for Pale Moon. And the point is being pushed by Astra.
Absolutely. Leaf making a play there, trying to break the corner and get to the ground pot, but it wasn't there when he wanted it. But his team was able to capitalize and keep the numbers pretty balanced here.
Seems like they're really trying to dish out all of the damage onto particular characters. They know Schmuckles is one of the major win conditions over here. Unfortunately, Schmuckles is going to be without a guard after this cover. Let's see if Alice is going to keep soaking up the damage for them. They decide not to. Maybe there's enough coming off of Schmuckles that they don't need to deal with the heat anymore.
White Mage Limit Break coming out, and a Dragoon Limit Break in the air. Kaede getting a kill off the combined power of that.
And
Dragoon
nobody's
Dark
on
Knight
the
LP.
point.
Yep, when the match is over, it's time to stand in the circle, or, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Fantastic
Leave it
gameplay by
where it is
both
on the line.
sides. It does seem like there might have been a little bit of issue on deciding where the direction of the focus should have been. You did see towards the end, they did manage to recompose themselves and try and make a coordinated push again, but unfortunately it wasn't enough.
Yeah, you don't always know who the target is going to be, because so much of targeting is dynamic.
That's right.
It really was looking like Astra had a game plan, was adjusting to game state, and Umbra was just having a harder time getting going.
One of the major things that you're looking out for on these early exchanges is which of the white mages has a more favorable position. One of the earliest cooldowns to come off at the beginning of these matches is going to be white mages and reapers, and they're both looking for favorable positions to capitalize and make the most use of their CC and their burst combos technically.
That's right, especially when the white mage gets that limit break, one of the fastest LBs in the game at a 60-second charge and a 50 yalm range, which sometimes feels like it hits into the next map.
That's right. It actually just firing the laser, you know what I mean? It just seems like it goes on and on and on. You have a surprising amount of reach, you have a surprising amount of width to that thing, and as long as you snapshot it at the right moment, you don't need to worry about the enemy's positioning after that. Make sure you're very reactionary with it. The moment that you see that opportunity, you don't need any more guesswork. Technically, you've already locked it in. You have the position set. Anybody in that trajectory is going to be held down for a second or two.
Yeah, really, really great analysis. It's good to know, Smoosh, that you really understand how to make use of surprising length.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but four-time top 100 player over here might know a thing or two about CC. Imagine.
We've had some job changes here. Umbra's team looking mostly the same. Leaf on Astra switching from Dark Knight to Astro. That communicates a lot of confidence in the front line of Dragoon and Samurai, and could result in some really, really powerful synergistic LB plays with that Astro limit break that gives 30% more damage to teammates.
So what's happening over here with Astra's game plan is they're going double healer. They're essentially looking to make the most use of these lives of the frontliners. Samurai being one of the best constant DPS tools in the game. Unfortunately, Dragoon being more AoE and reactionary and major basing on those cooldown. It does seem like it's paying off for them. These extended trades are going to make sure that the double healer really pay off. And it seems like they're immediately putting the pressure on Umbra.
Absolutely. Leaf immediately getting mileage out of that switch to Astro, getting the first kill of the match, and then rescuing his White Mage, who looked a little overextended with that double benefit. And now Astra is in a great position moving to checkpoint.
Like I said, one of the major things that they were trying to do is to make sure they keep up these frontliners topped off and healthy, and you can see they barely took any hit to their resources while maintaining every single bit of the pressure. It's really difficult to climb over the potential healing and the damage mitigation of both a Samurai and a Dragoon. They both have so many mitigation tools, so many ways of getting out of danger, or at least making sure their survival is enough to eke out that extra bit of healing they need to survive.
That's right. Both teams playing a little slow, looking like maybe Umbra isn't quite sure how to approach. And Tiramisu is going to go down from that melee backline push by Astra.
Seems like very cut and dry gameplay over here. I don't really see
We've
how
got a
much
Dragoon
more.
limit break in the air.
Really
Not gonna
nail
get a
in the
kill.
coffin. Yep.
But Doom Balloon and Very Long Unco are going to be able to capitalize off that damage and finish it off.
The way I like to say is that Dragoon LB was tactical. It got them to guard up. You know what that means? That means they don't have their guard when they come down. There you go, all according to plan. For real though, there was enough of an advantage there that getting them to guard up would maintain the pressure. It is a move to make. I don't know.
There it is, the Doom Balloon to Pingus.
It's all
Throwing out
Joker
that
from here. All
instant
Joker.
kill from the Samurai limit break to seal the deal here.
Seems like there was a bit of back and forth from these teams. Unfortunately, the second game kind of wrapped up cut and dry. Definitely knew what they wanted to do with the team composition. You really felt how powerful a double healer combo can be with the right kind of front line.
Absolutely. Had strong players and strong comps on both sides. But with Astra there, they had a game plan built around their comp, had players who knew how to play it, really just firing on all cylinders.
One of my favorite things to see, definitely, is a team that knows when to chase down. I can't emphasize this enough. The crystal doesn't move any faster the more players you have on it. All you're looking to do is to make sure that you're diving and making sure that you're not overextending, but you're securing that lead even more. If you get a pickoff or two at the early stages of the game, you can snowball that lead even more. You technically have the numbers advantage 4-3 while one of your teammates is pushing the point.
Yeah, we saw that in that match with Astra's team diving deep into the back line. Meanwhile, Leaf on Astra was playing the role of the wise man, holding down that point, and using Astro's range to dip in, do some cleave with the double gravity, do some healing with the double benefic, and just keep the point moving in the right direction for their team.
Double gravity is really such an underappreciated tool over here. One of the most unique things about Astro is not the fact that it can heal you from 1% to full. It's the fact that there are so many nuances to its kit. It has the capability to buff, to make sure that you're nuking down groups of enemies when you find those opportunities, to be able to CC opponents. I like to say it that a lot of its kit is front loaded, which means that it's not looking to get that LB immediately, and it's not such a huge hindrance that it doesn't reach those points. It's great if you can get it off, but its immediate impact on the game with those benefits, with that immediate healing based on missing percent HP, and the amount of nuking power you have with double gravity really shines through for Astro.
That's absolutely right. One of the most interesting things about job design in Endwalker PvP is how so many jobs blur the lines of their PvE roles. So what you see with Astro is a surprising amount of burst, being able to throw out that double grab with Macrocosmos and potentially do massive AoE cleave on the opposite team, but then be able to turn around and use the double Benefic and Microcosmos for some really strong reactive spot healing.
As a matter of fact, one of the baseline things you'll see at those openers is the right timing for Microcosmos and Macrocosmos, respectively. One of the major things that you need to keep an eye on if you're planning on playing Astro as a class is making the most use of that missing percent HP health, but also not diving in too far. You need to know when to back out. You need to keep an eye on your teammates to make sure that you're supporting them to the fullest, but also making the most out of those dividends. If you manage to get the enemy team out of gas, out of that burst potential, and your team survives with a sliver of HP, guess what? You've already won advantage. You can push it even further.
Absolutely. And as we've seen from a bunch of these matches tonight, all the game plan you need to have sometimes is you find that advantage and you press it until you've got a bigger one, and you keep pressing until, hey, we won.
That's right. Double healer, really such a strong set of tools to have. It does rely on your frontliners knowing how to stem the bleeding if they are getting focused as those primary targets. You really saw the weight of it over there. If you do have good healers to back it up, or you know how to maintain the pressure and use those sidelines to your advantage, you can really see it pay off in dividends. Looks like we are going to clockwork this time, right? Yep.
Alrighty. Set 5, we are headed in to Clockwork. The teams have been announced. We're waiting on one more for Team Umbra.
I'm really hoping we go into overtime on this one, because there's some really interesting play.
Oh no, no Cloud9 matches. What happened? Oh no. Anyway.
I think there's one more map, we can get it.
Yeah. Of course. John, I'm telling you, maybe we do need something like, if X amount of games passes, we guarantee the next one is like one of the missing results. I feel like showcasing the differences of the maps is really important, especially to people who are kind of dabbling into the PvP scene. It really showcases like the different interactions you can have, or how people play up in disadvantage or advantage in these matches.
Well, you know, we had to kind of take matters into our own hands 2 weeks ago because we didn't get a single Polystra map, so I cheated and made all 4 options Polystra. Maybe that's what we have to do for Cloud9, because this is set 5. This is our last normal rules set. So next is the final set of the night. It is our meme match. Have our casters given any thought to what shenanigans and debauchery they want to see?
Well, now you've got me put on the spot, John.
Well, they have it. Okay. What did we do 2 weeks ago? We did Protect the President, right? No. Yes. Yeah.
Which was the one with what was it? All classes the same class and everything. Protect the President sounds really cool, though. That sounds like a wonderful time over there.
Or that was
I like these.
That was 2 sets ago. Sorry. FanFest apparently deleted my memories.
I see. I really like these customized rule sets you could have. Protect the President, or maybe something like every single class is the same, right? Like, those are really fun to kind of experiment with. There's a lot of ways to enjoy this game outside of just casuals. There are actually you know, surprising enough, 2 game modes, Rival Wings and Frontlines. They do offer their own different experiences of the game. There are balance adjustment made because of the larger pools and everything. There are different rewards as well. PvP isn't just a scene dictated by these 5-on-5 matches. There are other ways to play and get involved with these PvP communities.
Absolutely. There's a lot of different subsets even within PvP Revival. You know, we're out here playing Crystalline Conflict, but there are people in Revival who are really into front lines and set up queue syncs to jump into games together. And I believe the original purpose of Revival was to get poor rival wings to pop, and you still see that pretty frequently.
Yeah, that is correct. The original name of PvP Revival was Revival Wings. Right, both of them are saying that they're ready, so it's time to head to Clockwork Castletown. For the first,
What I'm expecting
Oh, go ahead.
what I'm expecting to see this game is a really strong showing on how well they can protect the president over here. As you said it yourself, Finch probably going to be on the Black Mage, right? It's going to be amazing to see how well they can pull that off.
This is still standard rules. Standard rules.
I'm really looking for a Yojimbo kill.
Definitely. Oh, absolutely. I'm looking for a multi-man charm over here. I'm definitely looking at like a massive team wipes over here. It's going to be a very fun time. Actually, Finch is going to be over here on the Astrologian. Very strong pick. Definitely what I would rate one of the top classes in the game. If you want an idea of the power levels of certain classes, Astro definitely has to be among the top-notch healers you can pick. White Mage being so oppressively strong because of its 1-minute LV on top of its polymorph. Astro is right there behind it with its ability to reset fights, nuke down people. Its front-loaded kit, it is very strong.
We've got a bunch of very strong jobs that synergize well here, with 2 Astros, 2 Dragoons, and 2 Bards, who are hopefully going to be able to show off the power of that Bard limit break that increases party damage and gives limit break generation.
I like what I'm seeing with the Red Mage pick. Red Mage being able to duel or distract. It definitely has the tools to survive on its own or to help nuke down a target. It'll play either role really well. Mei-chan does get a little bit greedy trying to pop off their Reaper. That's right.
They're going to go down for it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Moe is also in dire straits, but is coming back into the fight at full health. Looking like Auburn Celsius is in danger here. But Astra not quite able to confirm any kills off of these low health players.
The double gravity does go out. It doesn't pay off just yet. Miskel is getting focused a little bit, is sitting in their guard. They are maintaining the advantage. Finch does go down. Pale Moon Dancer might be soon to follow over here. Miskel's goes down. This could go in either team's favor so far.
Yep, we've got a 4v4 here on Crystal. A couple of players on both teams getting pretty low on resources. Auburn pulling back, Pale Moon and Lynn being able to reset as well.
3 of their teammates are managing to get the reset. May kind of being held on their own over here. They will be able to get out. Thankfully, Reaper does have one of the better tools to manage their positioning, being able to freely move back and forth.
Looks like Auburn is going to go down off of a Tatami twist. They're hanging in there, but burning through resources trying to stay alive after getting flipped into the air and taking 30,000 damage.
Now the point is the main point of contention, if you will.
Dragoon in the air. 2 Dragoons in the air. Who's going to hit first? Mommy is going to come down, take down Pale Moon Dancer. Hunter Melee coming down right after is going to go down without a kill to show for it. You hate to see that off a Dragoon LB.
Astra was trying their best to stem the bleeding, but unfortunately it does seem like they are getting picked off left and right. May has to reset, leaving Miss Kells on their own without a prayer. They are getting ran down by the Gunbreaker. Gunbreaker being one of the better classes to chase down kills due to their increased movement whenever they dash and their continued damage output from their combo.
Got 2 kills and a Yojimbo!
You love to see it. You love to see it. You've been waiting for that one all night, huh?
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! The players are dropping like flies here.
Let's
There's
hear some
just
hype for Yojimbo, ladies and gents, and everything.
so much happening over the map. Miyukatsu looking dangerously low, surrounded by the wrong team. Might be able to get to safety here with the Clockworks in the middle of the map. Miyukatsu is gonna get minied and be punished with a trip back to the spawn. Pillmoon Dancer also minied, but looks like things are looking pretty safe for Astra, so they're gonna get away with it.
It does seem like they managed to stave off the rest of the pressure. Let's see what they can do off of it, if they can capitalize off of it. It looks like May is
Yojimbo
managing
coming
to
onto the
focus on
checkpoint.
Mami.
Bad news for Astra.
Again, this is a reminder
Another
that
Yojimbo kill.
you do need to be guarded up. If you want to know the counterplay to Yojimbo, it does kill you instantly. There is no counterplay to it besides guarding or being out of the circle. Imagine that. Moving out of the AoE circle will save your life.
Umbra really cleaning up here. We had a looks like a synced use of Limit Break from Finch on Astra and Mami on Dragoon. And now Umbra is just cleaning up the mess.
That's right, that's right. They are maintaining their advantage over here. If you ever have trouble reading the top bar over there, all you need to know is that the red team is always going to be Umbra, blue is always going to be Astra, and just look at their respective bars at the same color.
A lot of fighting happening on the mats here. Wondering if we're going to see another twist as Umbra pushes back towards checkpoint, which they did break through and are going to solidify their percent lead here.
The Hana does...
Yeah, in the air.
Not
But
too
Finch
much
was
to
able to guard
capitalize
it.
off. That's right, that's right. They haven't been able to capitalize off of it too much. They are managing
The other
to...
Dragoon is in the air.
That
And
is how
this
you play a
time-
Dragoon LB.
We're going to see some kills.
Fantastic, making the most of the Dragoon LB, cleaning up the rest of these kills, surprisingly maintaining the pressure. It looks like it's all in Umbra's favor from here, maintaining the person advantage. May is on their own without much of a prayer. They are popping the LB to at least disrupt this team a little bit, push out that fear, but they don't get anything off of it. Mizcal is the only one on point remaining.
This is Umbra's game to lose. Astra is fighting for their life with that spawn advantage, having the crystal right at their front door. But they're so staggered, it's going to be hard to come back from this.
10 seconds on the point, 5 seconds now. It seems like this game is all but wrapped up over here. Overtime
really
is popping. This is going to be
With
quite the
Gunbreaker
climb if they
LP.
make it. Yeah.
Do I do?
Very
Like,
solid
being forced
play.
to fall back off the point. May holding down point all on their own. Kel's jumping in, but Astra has really got to regroup here. Get a kill, get back on the board, and stay alive, which is going to be the most immediate problem.
Actually, we do see quite a few guards going off. That leaves them susceptible to the incoming damage from the rest of the team.
Astra is about to have lots of limit breaks ready. They might be able to turn this around.
That's right, but one of the major things they do need to take in mind over here is they do need to reset their HP. To maintain this advantage, they are going to have to be topped up on resources to make any sort of a push. They do get the secure on Mizcals with the Dragoon LB, but not much else. Pale Moon Dancer, soon to follow, dies on 10k mana. You hate to see it. Matecha, one of the last remaining people to make any sort of a push over here, is getting focused down on the point. You know, Reaper's not really known for how durable they are outside of their shield. Has to back off. Maybe they'll be able to reset, but that leaves Hana alone on the point over there, not really able to do much else on their own.
That's right, they are going to go down, leaving Blinn, who has been bound off the crystal. Matron getting in at the last second, but is it too late? Gunbreaker will be on the point. I would hate to be Matron right now.
They are managing to stem a lot of this damage thanks to Mizcal's holding on to them. Mizcal's basically able to reset the fight with their benefits over here. Unfortunately, does go down, and that's the end of the game.
Oh, yeah, Matron using that Reaper teleport to try to get on the point, but was just a little too late.
You can really feel the power of those resets over there, right? If you have every opportunity to live, that means that you have an opportunity to come back. Mei-chan really did make the right moves over there, making sure that they could reset and try and get back into the fray. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. If the longer you're staying alive, the more LBs you're incurring over there, the more opportunities you have to use your cooldowns and to swing the fight back into your favor. But it does require you having at least sort of a similar foothold in terms of person advantage.
Smoosh, guess what?
What?
Oh, Cloud9!
Let's go!
I'm real excited for this.
I'm not that excited.
I'm not
I
that
mean,
excited.
Yeah, there's no Yojimbo. So.
No Yojimbo, I'll pass. Thank you very much.
I do want to say, we're about to see the opposite with how Cloud9 is built, but on Clockwork, there's some really interesting quirks to how the map design favors teams in overtime. Generally, if you are in the percent lead, you've got a big advantage in overtime because the opposing team has got to push through your percent lead into your backline and get further and further from their spawn, making every death all that more punishing. But with those trick doors on Clocktown, it kind of cuts a little bit of that out, as each team can just hold W and go straight to the enemy checkpoint.
One of the major things you're going to see in the design of this map in particular is how little margin for error there is. This map in particular is dictated by a massive middle opening from both sides, right? Unfortunately, it only leaves you one small corner to hide behind, and once that's broken through, unfortunately, it's just a large square with little to no cover except for backing off. You're really going to feel the impact of these early engagements because it basically means that the losing opposition has to back up to the 50%, has to regroup and retry. And unfortunately, there is no cover for them to play in. There are no angles to play around. There is no line of sight to try and manage. They have to kind of brunt their way through the force that's remaining.
That's right. You've got to push to get that percent lead, but you're pushing into a very dangerous open area. So you've got to push confidently or wait for the other team to commit and potentially make a misplay that you can punish.
That's right.
So
This opening is going to dictate everything, especially at the opener. It could decide who gets the first advantage.
Both teams playing pretty safe, which is pretty classic C9.
Auburn going in, trying to get the most out of it, using a lot of it.
Goodness, Umbra getting cleaved.
Rekka just exploding in the backline. Not really sure what happened over there. They do get blood for blood, making sure to take out Mei-chan as well. Like I said, there is no cover to hide behind. Hana is susceptible, dies and blows up as well in the backline. Pale Moon soon to follow over here. Seems like a very early start for Umbra.
Good deal here. Yeah, we had a little bit of back and forth in that opener. Astra getting the first kill, but actually losing that engagement in the end.
It was a very strong start. Auburn had the right idea to explode through the front. Gunbreaker definitely one of the people who's able to wade through combat a little bit better than the other of their team. Unfortunately, did lose their teammate in the process. It was very surprising to see someone go down that quickly.
We're seeing some massive cleave, especially from these Dragoons, with Wormwind Thrust being able to hit multiple players as long as they're lined up. And with Turbulence coming in 12 seconds, we're going to see, potentially, the classic Cloud9 turnaround.
So what you're seeing over there are the little yellow chocobo circles are actually a Black Feather power-up. The Black Feather not only increases your LB gauge by a massive amount, it also gives you a lower GCD. And as you know, in the game, lower GCD means faster spells and combos.
Astra taking 2 off the board, 3, giving up 1 in exchange, but doing a classic Cloud9 turnaround and moving the crystal in the other direction. But some really interesting play there with Mei-chan using the Monk Limit Break to force...
Might have overextended, actually, in the enemy base over here, but they are managing to keep the numbers advantage, actually. Let's see if they're maintaining the pressure or they might get caught out. And you can really...
What do here is just play slow and break through that checkpoint to get the percent lead.
Ghost gets a reset. A lot of LBs going out. Finch actually managing to pop off their LB.
Astra's Dragoon in the air. Are they going to be able to make a kill out of it? Oh, coming down on Miyukatsu, who picked the wrong time to limit break.
KO does get nuked down from 10k mana. Unfortunately, the Red Mage LB basically secured their death and made sure there was no turnaround from that.
Hana Melee holding down point, but lots of guards being used on Astra, making it pretty dangerous to stay in here.
They are managing to hold it down,
and
though.
Going down from a really amazing Machinist Burst.
Auburn tried their best to hold on over there.
They were Summoner LB. That's going to force a kill using that Meteo to open up a kill opportunity.
Finch gets exploded from 100% to 0 immediately after the Marksman's Bite going down, securing the kill on Mommy. Unfortunately.
Deep in the back line, keeping Umbra occupied while Astra's Crystal is getting closer and closer to the goal.
That's right, you just play for objective at this point. Mei-chan trying to make the most use of their life, and Astra does secure the win. Fantastic game played from both sides over here.
Good job, both teams. Yeah, this is going to be our first one that goes to 3.
I really like seeing Team Astra over here rally, right? Definitely trying to make the most use of it. Really had a game plan to execute and make the most of. Mom, you could really feel the Monk paying off dividends over there, chasing down these kills. Like I said, Monk and definitely Gunbreaker are some of the stickiest melee characters that can stick their hands onto a target, really run them down, and continue to maintain the pressure.
That's right. Monk, I think, is maybe one of the jobs with the highest skill ceiling in this game. And when you see a really, really skilled Monk just firing on all cylinders, whoever they have in their sights basically has no chance to get away.
You really felt just how much confidence they had leaping into it at that point. They definitely secured their advantage early on. They definitely knew how to push it. There was a little bit of back and forth as expected from C9. It's definitely a map that has a lot more variance to it due to how much room you have to give up and everything just to stage any sort of a comeback. But you can see they maintained it. They definitely knew what to do. They definitely knew how to keep the lead at that point.
That's right.
Well, while we're waiting for Miyu to let us know when they're ready, just a quick shout out for some upcoming community events. September 9th is the first date for CC Madness's tournament. Join the CC Madness Discord. There's a link to it in Revival's Discord, by the way. Make sure that if you're looking for a team, you utilize one of many, or all of them, looking for team channels in the various Discords to join up for that. That will be September 9th. Miyu says they're ready, so off to Palestra we go for the tiebreaker for our final standard rules set of the evening.
This is going to be pretty exciting because I don't know how much our players are looking at it the same way that I do, but playing in light party and in tournament settings where you're playing these best of 3 sets, the mental is so important. If you win that first game, like, all right, we're in the driver's seat, this is our advantage to give up. And when you are playing come from behind, it's tough. It puts the pressure on you. So now we see a match where it's for all the marbles for both teams, and I wonder how they're feeling about that.
I'm definitely going to say no matter the outcome of this match, both teams played a fantastic set of games. They have nothing to worry about over here. These are relatively mixed bags of either experienced players or people looking to dip their toes into a little bit more coordinated gameplay. Just play it out to the fullest. Make sure you're having a great time doing it. You should be proud of having these sets of games played and making it out to a wonderful event like this. It's been a fantastic night so far.
I've had a great time. I don't know about you guys.
You're just saying that now. Yeah, you're just saying that. Yeah. All right, let's see how they dictate the opener over here. You can either take the side aisles, which it does seem like Mommy's holding on to, or you can take the main opening. It does leave you a little bit more vulnerable, and they are going in.
Wow, playing a slow opening right up until they're not. Mei-chan and Hanamele diving into Umbra's backline. Looks like lots of damage is going out, but no kills. Meanwhile, Astra is slowly pushing that crystal forward and getting some percent advantage out of it.
Hanamele isn't out of the woods, and unfortunately, you can really see the power of the Black Mage of Finch on it. Definitely securing that pick-off with the ice. Ice with such an oppressive tool back then is received multiple nerfs. Its ability to bind, freeze people in place, or slow them down makes it really difficult to get out of really bad situations already.
Absolutely. Astra was able to turn it into a trade and is holding on to their positioning. Finch is going to take another kill, but Astra is managing to push that crystal closer and closer to the checkpoint.
That's right, they actually did manage to dive the backline. Finch goes down as well as Mami. It is anybody's game at this point. Actually, they did manage to stave off the bleeding immediately. Miss Kells might get focused out over here on their last silver, but they run into the health pot. They are going to make it out of there. They are going to be able to reset. Miyu over here kind of holding on to the point. They do have their team to back them up, but unfortunately doesn't have a lot of tools to get out of the situation, and they do end up dying.
Really out of options there. Meanwhile, Valentia getting two, Hanamele getting a third, really cleaning up here and forcing a stagger out of Team Umbra. Finch diving way into the back to take out Machon and is going to be able to loop around and get away with it. Looks like Astra is going to be able to force the checkpoint here, but Umbra might be able to get some kills, potentially team wipe, and move it in the other direction. Mami coming down with that Dragoon limit break, not going to be able to get a kill. Are they going to be able to get away with it? Oh, health bars are getting so low.
Valentia does get held in place. It doesn't seem like they're taking on too much more pressure. It seems like they turned their attention to Miss Kells. Finch is kind of going to be able to run away with it at this point. Definitely just on their own dueling. They are, like, that's the thing. An experienced Black Mage player is going to know how to deal with the pressure. They do know how to gap close or escape from it. They definitely know their tools. They're very familiar with the class. They are going to be a hard cookie to crack over here.
Thanks to that and some red mage diving, Umbra making a powerful reversal, using the white mage limit break to force that kill. Like I said earlier, there is no such thing as overkill in Crystal Conflict.
Miyu kind of getting blasted down a little bit. It does seem like they're going to be able to make it through with their life. They do have that Warden's Paeon running, I believe, to get them a little bit more healing. The Purify is going to wear off pretty soon, but they have the health pod to manage.
That's right, and Astra sort of resetting the fight here, fighting under that Machinist turret, giving them some great sustain. But Umbra is going to push it back into the checkpoint and start making some progress.
The Bard LBs are starting to go down. The Bard LBs are starting to go down, which does mean that they're going to be helping their teammates get to those limit breaks. The only requirement being they have teammates alive. Unfortunately, it doesn't count if they're dead.
Mame Tomoe deep in the wrong neighborhood. Gonna go down while Machon takes down Umbra's White Mage.
You can really see the back and forth on this fight. It's actually wonderful to see just how close this game really is.
Yeah, we've had a couple of huge reversals in both directions now. Finch diving onto the point to stall and getting out using that ethereal manipulation movement.
There was definitely some coordination over there. They must have definitely been on each other's sites, knowing what each other was going to do. Because Finch knew exactly how to get away from that situation once their guard went down.
That's exactly right. Unfortunately for Umbra, they have got to contest this point, or else Umbra is going to break through the checkpoint here. Finch is going to go down. The Monk really, May knows that that Monk is a sort of an anti-Black Mage job.
Seems like they are maintaining the pressure. They do have the person advantage. Unfortunately, the last two characters being the Dragoon and Miyu over here on the bar, it means that they're really susceptible to getting picked off. Miyu might go down. Immediately gets nuked down despite being in guard. That is a result of the snapshotting that I was talking about from the tick rates with the server. Unfortunately, they do end up going down no matter what happens from this point on. It is going to be a 4v5 for the next 15 seconds at least.
Right, a couple of players on Astra getting pretty low, but limit breaks are coming out. And as we go into overtime, Astra has great field positioning. Machon up to a 6-kill streak and coming back for a 7.
Astra definitely came out here to play. They are holding their advantage. Unfortunately, you can see their MP bars are running a bit low. This could potentially swing in either lane.
Yeah,
Mamitue popping their LB.
coming down and getting a kill out of it. That might
Very
be
solid.
what they need to get back in. But Mei-chan getting that 7th kill, taking down Miyukatsu, sitting on a full bar of Limit Break.
They did manage to crack it back. It's either
Umber's really in the danger zone
one's
here.
game. Yeah, we're just focused on this gameplay completely. The matter of the fact is, it's not potentially over. Technically, if Finch makes it out of this alive or provides an and they get picked off
Goes
right
down
before they
on
get
the
the
ground
HP
first.
pot. That's right, that's right. They were so close to getting that HP pot. Maybe being able to do something off of that. Unfortunately, this looks like a wrap. The death timers are too long at this point. That's one of the main things that Astra's doing correctly, capitalizing every lead, maintaining that person advantage, just cleaning up the rest of them. This might take a while, but this is how you play it by the books.
Astra's got him in the death spiral here, and I think they're about to secure that 2-1. Valencia getting a kill, Hanamele getting another, Finch forced to go on point and contest with their guard, getting pushed off with the scatter gun, having to break guard early, and it looks like it's all but over.
It's all
There you
Jover
have it.
now. It's all Jover.
Good
Really
job,
impressive
Team
play from both
Astra.
teams. Had some great back and forth, but Astra kind of took off the weights in overtime there, and just had some really fantastic target focus.
Really knew how to secure that lead at that point. Definitely, there was a lot of crackbacks going on. It was definitely bouncing for a bit. But once the death timers really started adding up, you could really feel the weight of each death. Unfortunately, it left them at disadvantage for 10, 15 seconds, if not longer.
All right, guys, it's time. It's time for meme match. What are we gonna
That's
see?
right.
What are we gonna see?
I'm kicking around an idea. Smoosh, you got anything?
No, I don't have any idea. No, I don't know. How about... Wait.
Because I was thinking how funny it would be to have the Revenge of Cloud9 with all black mages.
Okay,
Okay,
I like
alright.
that. I like that.
We've seen some really strong black mage play tonight.
You know, they do
And-
say Black Mage is one of the strongest backliners in this game. Let's put it to the test. Let's see what happens.
All right. Okay, so it's gonna be.
Yeah, let's see how they do as a
black
front line.
mage. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna make a shout chat for people here at the Wolves Den.
Excellent game. Yeah, excellent CC gameplay by both teams over here. Both teams should definitely be proud of how far they came, especially at that last match with the back and forth. Making a best of 3 is definitely a really fun way to see how much you can adapt to each other's play styles or make those quick changes on what your goals should be, what you're setting those micro moments to be, right? To get advantage in these games. It's amazing to see.
That's right. When both teams are really giving it their all, you can sort of see the energy as they play off each other, and it just makes for a really fun game to watch.
I gotta say, it was interesting to see people not really opting to choose tanks at the last set over there. As a matter of fact, it was almost all melees, right? And a couple of range, maybe a healer here and there. But picking a tank class in this game mode does mean you're more reliant on those snap decisions to make, whether it's protecting or dashing to potential targets to hold down and secure. It's definitely a different playstyle than the amount of kill pressure you provide with one of the more red DPSs for sure.
Absolutely. Seeing some less common play, like taking advantage of the red mage and its ability to just really stick to a target, have incredible single target pressure, and really be a thorn in the side of one player at a time.
I was definitely a big fan of the amount of Dragoons we saw. Like, Dragoon is such a powerful class with the amount of tools it has, with the AoE, with the burst combo potential. It was basically seen in almost every match, and it rightly deserves to be so. It's definitely one of the strongest classes you can pick, especially with the solo queue mentality, if that's what you're looking to do. It can stall point. It can come around the corner and surprise people with its LB if people aren't paying attention. And it has the amazing abilities, swing fights, or make people guard up. There's a lot you can do and express with the class.
Census? Is that you? You sound different.
All right, let's see here. Looks like they've got everybody signed up for it.
All right, looking forward to this.
This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting. Shizuko's got the party finder up for us. Oh, that means I have to switch too here. Hold on, hold on.
Yeah, come on, John. Gotta rep out for the all black mage match.
Are we
go.
all black mage? Oh, I
we're
see. We're all black mage. Okay, okay. Even the casters. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Why didn't I get the memo? What happened? What happened?
Oh, it's completely at will. It's completely at will.
Ah, yes.
You don't have to. You don't have to rep it.
No, I got it. I got it.
It's my favorite part of a all one job meme match. Seeing the teams fill up and seeing someone ask, "How do I play job I'm about to play?"
Yeah, we've had that happen a couple times.
You love to see it. Oh wait, what am I? What, oh, I see. I see.
I'm excited for this. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be really fun.
Yeah, as we mentioned it earlier, Cloud9 has these long sight lines and not a whole lot of room to run or hide.
Right. There's
So
not much. There's not
ranged
much
player.
cover. You know, you get
You
you get a little bit of a corner to work with at the 50% check marks, but that's about it. You know, a coordinated team can sometimes make a really good kind of jump scare out behind the wall if they're trying to defend that goal, the final stretch. But that's about it. Everything else, it's a bowling alley.
It really is. Like it was really nice to showcase. We didn't get much clockwork last time, right? So it was really nice to show off just the amount of variance that you get. And I use that word a lot, variance, right? There is a lot of potential in these matches. They're not so cut and dry. There is definitely enough gimmicks in the game mode to keep it interesting, right? Where it's not so one-sided. The potential for comebacks is there. I wouldn't call it RNG per se, but I would say you can take advantage of those tools. And unfortunately, Cloud9 is one of the highest variance maps that you can encounter. The amount of swing potential in that map is so high between turbulence, the LVs going off, the huge amount of space that you're allowed to work with if you have advantage. It's really quite a sight to behold.
That's right. I think part of the infamous C9 swing has to do with just all of those moving parts and how there's a lot to think about as far as game state and what's coming at you.
It definitely is one of the more interesting things to know that the developers had foresight to introduce these things, not necessarily to be like a nuisance or a hindrance, but rather to provide those moments of flashy material, right? Like the dancer being able to AoE an entire group into the bomb explosions on Volcano Heart or something. It's definitely there for players to have the capability to rise above and beyond in those moments.
Sorry, everybody. We're dealing with some more internet issues with our PF coordinator again.
Yeah, delete C9. Basic. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, delete C9. It actually is a major issue apparently overseas. It is basically agreed upon that C9 would be better if it wasn't part of the map pool, and the developers really emphasized that. Like they also understood it, and they actually lowered the amount of times that you would encounter C9 as a potential map.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they didn't remove it outright. I do think it has its place on the line. Somebody or a team of developers definitely took the opportunity to create that map, to bring it out and bring it to life. So they definitely thought it was worth it. I am glad to see it there, but I do understand why the overall consensus is delete C9, you know.
Because it's fun to meme. That's
Oh,
why.
absolutely, for sure, for sure.
It's fun to
Well,
meme
we've
on it.
seen a couple of maps, not in Crystal Conflict, but in other modes, get pulled and then come back with a fresh coat of paint. Do you think that might be what happens to Cloud9 in Dawntrail?
I honestly hope so. It would be a fantastic way to revitalize the map pool. It definitely is one of the most interesting map designs, right? It isn't necessarily bad. It's just, it's missing those few notes that can make it really exceptional. There's nothing bad about having a longer map with a wider, I guess you could say, set of spaces. It's just the fact that it's so oppressive if you're not a ranged character. It's so obvious and glaring the issues with it because of that. On top of the rest of it, on top of the black feather of the tornadoes going out, the amount of space you need to cover just to get back to your team, it's like all of these things, like you said earlier, are really adding up to make it a map that's notorious but in all the wrong ways.
Absolutely right. I think anybody who plays at a high level knows that you see more of some classes and less of others when Cloud9 rotates in, and it's not hard to guess which is which.
Listen, I play Paladin enough times to know not to play Paladin there. Yeah.
Okay, so the teams have been announced. This is your lineup for the final match of the night, the meme match. All Black Mage on all C9. Team Astra is going to be a Tangerine, Calm Lamity, Bicycle Salesman, Calamus, and Finch. Shoo, that's going to be a tough team for
That really is, yeah.
for Send Noodles, Very Long, Sato, Schmuckles, and Alice to go up against. Schmuckles and Send Noodles, both very good players. Alice also good player. I'm not familiar with Sato or Very Long, but I'm sure that they'll surprise us out here. Just waiting on one more person per team.
Yeah, you know, Calm Lamity plays a little bit of Black Mage, isn't that right?
Yeah,
Is that
just
right?
a touch. Just a touch.
Oh, I see.
Just a touch.
Interesting.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Black Mage experience here and some very skilled players. So I'm interested to see how this match goes.
I am gonna assume we're gonna see, you know, an explosion or two, probably an explosion, some ice, maybe an explosion, some dashing, an eventual thunderstorm, some explosions. There will probably be an explosion or two. We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, maybe one or two.
Maybe one or two.
What I'm
Max
interested
three.
to
Max
see
three.
Is two things. When I've played these all same job meme matches, there's a little bit of a different strategy than what you might see in a regular Crystal Conflict match. I've had some very successful openers that just boil down to pick one guy, run at him, hit your biggest button all at the same time. Go! Kill him! So I wonder if we'll see that. But also, with Black Mage, as I understand, I could be wrong, feel free to correct me on this. If there's multiple Black Mages, that Astral Fire dot does not stack. So I wonder if we're going to see some coordination between who's applying ice and who's applying fire.
That's correct. They do not stack, as a matter of fact. Or, you know what? I can't even be sure of that because I've never played with more than one Black Mage on the same. Why are we doing this? What happened? How did we get here? What happened?
Science.
Oh, yes, of course, for science. Yeah, I guess we'll answer the
reviews.
age-old question. What happens when more people put the astral debuff on your target? I wonder.
I mean, I'm just glad that we're doing this now instead of the dark times of patch 6.11.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, were you playing during that time period?
I probably was. Yes, you could probably assume so. Yeah.
Well, I'll. I
Oh,
mean,
you're talking about the Ice Age. You're talking about the
yeah,
Ice Age.
yeah,
Ah,
the
the infamous Ice Age. Of course, of course.
period where Crystal Conflict matches were defined by
That is
4
correct.
words:
That's right.
better black mage wins.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-hmm. You don't say. Oppressive as it was. It's still a really dominating force in terms of caster potential as well. You just need to invest heavily in understanding how to use its tools, how to gap close or to escape from those situations. Like you not only need to be situationally aware, you need to understand you are gonna get dove. You are gonna be one of the first targets picked on by melee characters or anybody else who can get their mitts on you. You need to know how to bring the fullest out of the class to make the most of it.
You're absolutely right. I just got a little distracted. Did you say you neon only need to be situationally aware?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. Yeah. I was part of the Sage versus White Mage, and I had to switch to the White Mage, but Smooshified said there's a lot of experience, and I got nervous about it. White Mage, okay, so I guess a brief rundown of the healing classes is Astro would be one of the ones that you need to be more attentive of your teammates and understand the tools at your disposal. It's a front-loaded kit, which means you need to be more careful about managing those tools you have initially. White Mage is a fantastic class that if you're bringing out 100% of it 100% of the time, you're already exceptional at the class. It doesn't need a lot to go off of to make absolutely monumental amounts of momentum with it. And then Sage is a class that's defined by its LB, but it has a lot of other tools to work with. I would just say it's like a lot of under the hood management where you need to have the right target for your cardia. You need to make sure that you're making the most of those lines when you're setting up your healing or your dealing. It's definitely a fun class to play. Don't let any class intimidate you. Take the opportunity to figure out how they work. You'll thank yourself later when you understand how each of these classes play out in the long run.
That's right. And we're about to find out how 5 black mages work.
Ah, fantastic. Oh, yeah, it's great.
Into the team. Just ethereal manipulations ping-ponging all over the battlefield here.
There's a lot of ice, there's a lot of fire, and not much else in between going on over here. People are dying, Seta goes down.
Back on the board. Allison Finch claiming first blood. Finch getting 2, looking for that 3-piece. Is he going to get it?
What I'm really starting to take note of over here is how quickly these black mages melt initially as soon as the heat starts getting turned onto them. There isn't a lot of HP to play around with, so unfortunately, these big hits hit even bigger.
That's right, Black Mage is a high damage job and a fragile one, so we're sort of seeing that sword cut both ways.
And the turbulence does go out. It doesn't seem... Actually, there's quite a few people caught out by it, but no deaths immediately off the bat. Schmuckles popping their LB, looking for an opportunity to maybe swing things in their favor. Very long. Is a bit low. It does seem like they're managing to reset over there. Calamity gets picked off. Oh my god, who saw that coming? Anyway, wow, 50% mark. Seto's over here doing their best, holding on. They do get picked off in the back over there. They did turn the corner to make sure they picked off that kill. Leaf is over here and might be able to pick up this HP pot. They do have the Purify to manage themselves pretty well.
And it's gonna go deeper as opposed to backing out. Absolutely fearless play, and is gonna get rewarded with a kill for it.
So did we actually? How does the fire dot work? Does it actually? It doesn't stack, right? It doesn't stack. I'm pretty sure it doesn't stack. No, there's no way it's stack. No, yeah, they definitely don't stack. No way. I mean, nobody's even opting for it. They're all playing ice, and I don't blame them, to be honest. Between sleep and ice, like Black Mage is CC bot. And there you go, Astra wins. There you go.
Good job, Team Astra. Stand by for a
Good
team
job.
rebalancing real quick. Stand by for a team rebalance. Stand by.
That was one of the games of time.
That was one of the games of time. Okay. Party Fighters disbanded. That was one of the games of all time.
I don't think I can think of the last time I've seen so many trades happen in a single match.
We're just
Well,
gonna we're gonna set it up so that it's everybody against Calamity there.
Yeah, the 1v9 Crystal Conflict match.
one of the more interesting things you definitely see is just how quickly that damage slaps onto you. You're in the middle of the cast and you're being held there for almost 2 seconds. It turns out you're a little bit susceptible with your guard down. So those long cast times really, really show the emphasis of the class of how quickly you can blow up if you're not careful.
Yeah, one of the micro level misplays that you'll see get exploited that did happen a couple times tonight is jobs whose limit break roots them in place, whether that's Bard or Summoner or Scholar during that cast animation, will really get punished by observant players who take advantage of people who use their limit break when they're maybe not in the optimal position to do so. And we're sort of seeing that under a microscope with Black Mages exploding in a single cast here.
That's right, you do only get one Purify every 30 seconds. Unfortunately, it does mean without guard, you're basically a sitting duck. And even with guard, if you were snapshotted as CC before or after, you might as well kiss your butt goodbye. Really, 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 really shows how much CC is flying out over here when everybody's a CC bot. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
I definitely had a lot of fun. Like watching people try and coordinate themselves, slapping them together into a group and going like, "Get out there!" It's like music to my ears. Definitely, it's fantastic watching people express themselves through gameplay, and that's something that you really can't get from PvE. I can't emphasize this enough. There's parsing, but there is a difference between parsing or raiding or even clearing dungeons at a certain speed, and then there's like game knowledge, and then there's game knowledge and game sense and awareness of situations that can only be expressed through PvP. The adaptations being made, the amount of spells flying around and everything, the fact that there's micro management skills being made as soon as anything gets thrown at you, it's really such a sight to behold. I'm really glad that PvP is still here on the scene for Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think everybody here is, relatively speaking, that's what brings us all here, every week, and then, it's a lot of it's just due to hard work from all the community members that want to keep it, going, that want to see it, just a second. But yeah, there's so many people that work really hard on events. Like I brought up earlier, the beginning of September 9th, the CC Madnesses tournament. Later in September is the Paws and Claws tournament. There's
Some
just
big money on the line in the PNC tournament.
yeah, and one of the for those of you that aren't aware, PNC ran a tournament before and gave away a gamer fridge as an award for play of the game, and now
Forgot about that.
now it's become kind of a meme. So if there's if you're in a PvP Discord, I guarantee you've seen the sticker or the emoji flying around of the gamer fridge. But yeah, for PNC's tournament, the prizes are going to be 500 million gil and then custom mugs that the team is working on over there.
Some really, really cool stuff. And there's also some stuff in the works that I don't think we're allowed to talk about just yet. Is that
Yeah,
right,
not
John?
just yet. Not just yet.
Gosh, and I'm not even
lots-
kept in the loop on this one. Can you imagine the audacity?
Lots of
Imagine.
fun stuff. Lots of fun stuff. Okay, let's see here. I'm just gonna do it myself real fast to get us going.
I think that's what's going on, right? Yep. That's okay. So I don't know. Do you see yourself jumping into the fray at some point, Serothel? Do you see yourself becoming one of the many over here, joining in on these games? You were here a couple weeks ago, that's right. Do you see yourself doing it again? Do you find yourself more comfortable in the casting chair?
I gotta say, yeah, I have a lot of fun casting, and I'm so grateful for John bringing me back on board, um, which is actually I think our first time in the same week. It was originally gonna come in, and then Socks, who did a great job, stepped in to host for a couple weeks. But now I'm back with John for the first time, and with you for the first time, Smoosh, and had a lot of fun tonight casting together.
I'm very happy to say so too. Honestly, it was a fantastic time casting with you. You really know what you're doing out here. I gotta say, this was a very comfortable experience for me. Sometimes I feel like I step on lines a little bit too often, but it was really reassuring knowing you got it. You know how to hold it down. You've got your perspective on the game that I might be missing as well, and I'm very happy to see that the chemistry is there, that we're working off of each other. And it was great co-casting with you. Definitely. I'm very happy too.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I am probably not supposed to say this on air, but as soon as we get off, I'm probably gonna wind up in John's DMs saying, "Hey, when you get an open spot in the schedule?"
That's perfectly fine. We have lots of open spots in the schedule. Like we've said before, this is a weekly event every week on Thursday, barring some special occurrences. We had it line up with a fresh raid tier and, of course, with FanFest, and we gave people a chance to focus on their raids and their traveling and stuff like that. But yeah, generally it's every week, so there's always vacancies for casting. And one of the cool thing is that we've given some people a chance to come out, shoutcast, that had never done it before, but they were really interested in it. And we've gotten like memorable moments off of every single night. Just lots of fun, lots of different personalities. As far as tonight goes, definitely a 10 out of 10 night. It's a pleasure having you both here. Both of you crack me up. Like I said before, I mute myself during the matches for the most part because I'm usually just sitting back cackling and then dealing with Discord and behind the scenes stuff. But you guys have kept me pretty entertained all night. Chat seems pretty satisfied with the both of you too.
I definitely broke character once or twice over there. I'm so sorry. My deepest condolences over there. I'm so sorry.
It's been a good night. We've gone like hella over our time. That's mostly my fault for internet issues right off the bat. And we're just waiting on one person now. Who are we waiting on?
Should I get in there? Should I throw myself into the fray? Is that what's going on? All right.
I think we're waiting on, it looks like Alice for Team Umbra.
And I gotta say, thank you, John, not just for bringing me on, because I had a great time, but for some great camera work, because you're
God
really
knows
making
how do you
it-
keep up with us? How do you keep up with us?
Well,
I'm over here V cam that people find less dynamic, so
Well,
I'm glad that
for
someone
sure.
That's my secret. I don't.
Auto camera for the win over
I
here.
do
for
try.
sure,
I
for
do
sure.
try to keep up with what you guys are saying. It's a lot of fun. I like flying around, dude. Spectator mode is goated.
Do you have your own set of keybinds and everything for that? Are you set up enough that like you had to change things to make sure the camera work was all there?
No, I've just been working with it as it's vanilla setup. I don't know if you guys make changes to the UI, but I just left it vanilla and got used to it, and it's a lot of fun. I like flying around. So it looks like Mommy's gonna fill in for Alice. It's time to get a ready check going because we are late as hell tonight.
Let's go! I'm looking forward to
Three
this one.
people not ready off the bat.
They might be hitting a dummy though. They might
One
be
R,
hitting the dummy.
2R. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this is a little bit of
They're probably
how do
just
I
hitting
flip
the
black
dummy.
mage?
All right, so They said they're ready. We're just gonna go back in. All right. Cloud9. Oh, I didn't do it right.
Oh,
Now I did it right. There we go.
Cloud9, Cloud9. You love to see it.
No action cam required. Thank you guys. You guys are too kind. I appreciate you all. You guys are way too kind. But
I
it's
appreciate you. I mean,
it's a lot of hard work from a lot of different people. Shizuko and Ariane bouncing off of each other to keep recruitment and party finder rolling. Using Marcel's Excel randomizer. You know, you guys have been killing it all night. Chat has been lit. We got to thank Rogamaniac earlier for a massive raid. Like 1 million viewers from Rogamaniac. That was really awesome.
Thank you, Rogamaniac. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
I can't do that. I can't do the gruff voice.
And thank you again, John, because this whole thing is your baby, and we're 17 weeks of CC Roulette in. That is crazy.
Yeah,
It's at least more than 3. It's at least more than 3.
It's been a lot
couple
of fun.
more. Very good.
You know, I am a kind of a top 4 seasons of real top 100 champion. Yeah.
Also
I can
more than
count.
3.
Yeah, that is true. It is more than 3. You got it. Yep, that's right. Schmuckles prepping over here, French prepping, everybody's prepping. We'll see what happens off the bat over here. Nobody wants to turn the corner because they know they'll immediately explode unless everybody dives off.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Call the Scions! It's a calamity!
I got it. Come what?
Wow! Team Astra taking that advice to heart of everybody jump on the same guy and hit your biggest button. That was a
that's right.
hit squad moment with all of Astra ethereally manipulating in and hitting that instant cast burst.
It hurts so bad. The damage, of course, coming from these black mages. Yeah, Mommy does manage to go down. Miss Kells might be soon to follow. They are guarded up, but that means as soon as they come out of guard, they will get slept. They will get held down with the ice. I don't see a way they make it out of this. Calm Calamity may be soon to follow. They are playing it as best as they can. They are managing to get a lot of these astral ices off. They will be able to hold down. Bicycle goes down. Actually, quite a number of people over here on the Umber side are falling like flies. Imagine that. The amount of damage coming out is immense over here.
Seto getting the 3-piece. Do I see the fries? Mami Tomoe being forced back, forced to guard or die with so much damage coming towards him.
Amazing maintaining the pressure over here and making sure they're doing the objective as well. It looks like everything's going in the favor of Astra. Call Lamus might still get packed off, but you know what? They do manage to get out. They do have the Purify. They can round the corner. They can break that line of sight. Looks like they're going to be A-okay.
They're going to make it out alive. Still very vulnerable to super flares, which ignore LOS.
Oh my god, the amount
like
of
Umbra
damage.
has bigger problems.
The fact that 2 people can both at the same time dash to a target and immediately hit them with thunder means that there's not really much room to work with after that. They're basically at 1 HP as soon as they're done with the combo.
Yeah, that's an extremely lethal burst that can just come out of nowhere, thanks to Ethereal Manip being instant and giving that instant cast. I think we're going to see a couple deaths to fall damage here.
Unfortunately, Finch does end up breaking their knees over here. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Everybody's just playing ice now. They're all just freezing each other over and over and over. You know, well, it was a close game initially, and until the good game, everybody. Good game.
Good game.
Good game.
Yeah, the long-running argument about fire versus ice among high-level black mages, and I think we might have an answer after tonight.
Oh my god, I feel so bad for poor Noodles, the victim of that opening salvo.
Oh,
an army
hit
of
squad. The hit squad just trained in on
that was
them.
literally a teleports behind you, kid. They all
It really was.
appeared right in
the
her
old on
Kool-Aid.
drive-by.
That's exactly what it was. Oh my god. Okay, all right. So that's two for Team Astra. Lots of really good matches tonight, but holy cow, it is late and everybody has been putting out some really good fights tonight. I skipped this part at the very beginning because I was trying to get going for the late start. Serothel, thank you again so much for coming out tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Any parting words for our audience, and let them know where they can find you?
Absolutely. I had a great time. I hope everybody who watched and everybody who played did. Again, thank you, John. Thank you, Smoosh. Thank you to everybody not on stream right this second who works to make this happen. I do run a YouTube channel at youtube.com/Serothel that is variety gaming focused. But I would love for you to come check it out, see what I do. A little less chaotic, but I try to have the same energy. And hopefully in queue up.
Yeah, that's right. Queue up. Smooshified, one of my favorite people in the whole dang world. Thank you for coming back.
What? You're just saying
Smoosh,
that.
do
You're just,
you have anything that you would like to tell the people
No,
watching
well-
at home, including links to where they can find you?
All right, very well. Well, if you insist, yes, you can find me on twitch.tv/Smooshified. I do have a Discord as well. You can find it on the main page of my channel. I do have a Twitter as well, Twitch or twitter.com/Smooshified. I also have a YouTube. You can find it over there. I do upload clips. I'm also a variety streamer. This is a game I'm passionate for. I had to put this behind me due to my scheduling. I do work, I do stream as like a part-time thing. It's definitely something that I'm motivated to do, but my schedule is really strict. Unfortunately, I don't always have the same opportunities to play late into the night as everybody else, but I do give what I can when it comes to people like John, and John has been here since the beginning for me. He's a fantastic person, fantastic player who I'm very fond of. Thanks for having me here again tonight, John. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you. But it's too much. Again, thank you to Shizuko and Ariane for keeping the Party Finder rolling despite the rolling Comcast assault. Thank you to the rest of Revival for sponsoring the event. It is time to give away 1,000,000 gildo.
Woo!
That's not... That again, why do I keep doing that with the wrong window? All right, we've got the wheel prepped. Let's spin it and see who's one cool mil richer.
Wheel of
After
morality.
wheel,
Turn,
John.
turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we shall learn.
It's gonna be Oichan.
Yay! Congrats, Oichan.
Congratulations,
Congrats. Woo!
Oichan. If you're still around, get up here so I can trade you your money.
Get 1,000,000 gil. That's all you need to do. Participate. Get over here on the Revival Roulette. There you go. That's how you do it, boys.
That's how you do it. All right, that's it for us here at Revival, Crystalline Conflict, Roulette. We are going to raid out now. Let's see. Everybody in the raiding party. We're going to Frosty's stream, so spam tents. Lots and lots of tents.
Really a tense moment.
Yeah, it's going to be an intense raid.
Who let me out? Who let me out?
Bring me from the wheel.
Free me from the wheel.
Free me from the wheel.
Oh,
Please.
love it.
I've been here for too long. It's so late. It's so late.
I know.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, everyone. We went
Nah,
so
you're
over.
okay,
We
you're
went
okay.
so
We're
far.
joshing. We're joshing. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Uh-oh. It's gonna be... Yep, the raid text command is not working.
Oh
So-
yeah, I wanted to
You
tell you. Yeah,
can't-
Streamlabs went down. Yeah, it went down.
Yeah,
It
so
went
we
down.
gotta do it. We gotta have Calm do it. All right, we are going. Thanks again, everybody. Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.